Whew. Alright, so I kind of jumped into this late, but whatever. No big deal.
10 seconds.
Oh, I gotta fix my cable management. This is terrible. Can't
5
even link
seconds
my mic
remaining.
around. Or I just get a better mic, but you know, whatever. What I have currently is fine, hopefully. Cool. And I'll look at this draft in a second. I'm gonna grab something to eat really.
Dire team back.
Praise King.
Oh, all right. So,
10 seconds remaining.
dope.
5 seconds
So,
remaining.
as I eat this technically granola bar, I actually think it's a protein bar, but
Radiant team ban.
same thing. Same difference. It's essentially the same thing. Okay. So first off, good Pit Lord game. You're playing against a Wraith King. I'm kind
10
of
seconds remaining.
not sure why they picked Wraith King into Pit Lord, but
5 seconds remaining.
you do have your trolls, your Ursas, and Monkey banned out. Is Monkey not available? I mean, Ursa's the big one. I think Lifestealer is pretty good too, just because you can get aggressive against the hero early on, and they have a Shadow Shaman to do it with. Wraith King seems a little strange. Hmm.
10 seconds
I just had an
remaining.
idea for this league, by the way. Hold on.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh,
Radiant team pick.
Beastmaster.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
1 second. Let me ping Guam. Alright. Anyway, I'm incredibly unhealthy today, probably. Maybe I'll do a sit-up for every time, I don't know. I'll do a push-up for every time Spaghetti Jesus dies in this series. How about that? I think that's a good potential for a good workout.
Dragon Knight.
You may now select your heroes.
Wait, how many films does Christopher Nolan have? Prestige, Memento, Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, Interstellar, Tenet, Dunkirk. Am I missing anything? Inception. It's like 8. Okay. Random questions out of the way. I should probably have the chat up right now. I don't actually have the chat up. I don't have my second monitor up right now. But I don't know. It's probably fine. There is another cast for this going on right now. I probably should just let that. Just had the only one in Games Live because technically they did mark it first. But 1 second. MMR is just a number.
30 seconds to battle.
Bomb. MMR is just a number. Oh my god. Blade is the worst artist I've ever heard.
The battle begins.
Anyway, Staples TK. I barely talk about this game. I'm like super distracted right now. There's like a bunch of different things going on. It is like a weird time to be casting. I'm not used to this. My brain is still in like work mode, but I got off a bit early today. Might still have to run down some things later, but it's fine. Got off a bit early so I could cast, which is the more fun thing to be doing right now. Definitely the more, maybe not the more interesting thing. Depends what I'm working on, but it's pretty good. Narathine versus McCreamer in the top lane, though. Again, I'm not sure this is the best matchup for a Wraith King to deal with. This seems pretty Pit Lord favored, at least at the start. If you can start bullying Wraith King out of lane at the very start of the game, you're going to have a huge advantage. Pit Lord is a hero that can definitely do that, especially when he's spamming Firestorm, which he's neglecting to do just yet, but it probably will be something he's going to start opting into here very soon. Wraith King, not a hero that can bully Pit Lord out of lane. Neither is Phoenix, so this is kind of a free lane for Pit Lord, I think. Nothing is going to stop him from just farming up, getting all of his utility items, and starting to push in the tower. Take that tower super early on and roam around with the team. That's typically what you'd see from a Pit Lord, the typical Pit Lord game. So, oh, hold on. Let me talk shit to Bulljax really quick right now. He's taking a bit of damage right now, but yeah, you see he just turns around, and like, that's all he needs to do. Plus, the more levels you get, the best time to kill a Pit Lord is very early on, as we get a lot of tips for a line. I'm not paying too much attention to this bot lane. I maybe should, just because I missed a kill there, but I don't know. It's like, all these Beastmaster lanes feel pretty similar, especially the ones I see in pubs too, where the Beastmaster doesn't really have that hard of a time. I'm kind of surprised the Beastmaster is the one dying first here, but again, it goes similar to Pit Lord, I guess, where a lot of these offlaners right now are super weak early on, and where they become strong in the laning stages once they get like a couple levels up into their abilities, probably around like level 3 or 4, when the boar is going to start to do more damage and they can actually get aggressive. And then it's the same thing for Pit Lord too. Once you get like level 3 or 4, you have 2 levels in Firestorm. Potentially, we'll see what he does. Pit of Malice might be good in this lane to go at level 4. But you could get the second level into Entropy, or you get an extra 10% damage reduction, which is just insane. So McCreamer, you're essentially playing a Tide Hunter at that point, a slightly less damage reduction version of Tide Hunter, where you're just not going to take a lot of damage. Phoenix does have a decent amount of magic damage, but we're not going to see Fat Loser tanking that much XP here. I think you kind of want to give the lane solo XP to Wraith King as much as possible. Because once he gets a couple levels in the Sunray, he's looking pretty good. McCreamer might just be able to find and sneak a kill on Spaghetti Jesus right now. Slowly dropping. I don't think they're actually going to find him, though. They do need to hit him with another stun, and he's got 10 seconds till that's going to come. So McCreamer chases him down, at least pushes him out of lane, forces him to use a salve. That is about it. No one played role but MXG shit state. Message me to Codecast when UG. Just watching Dota TV right now. Okay. Again, sorry I'm like super distracted. Hopefully the cast is actually working. I'm gonna check the stream. Yeah, it does. We're good. Sick Nasty though, bottom paired with the Juggernaut. This is... They could maybe actually go right now if he wants to pop spin. It's a bit slow. Yeah, the hold there perfectly timed for Mug. Keep the Inkswell from connecting. It's a little bit late. You probably want to wait to get at least boots on the Juggernaut, and that's not going to happen anytime soon because he's actually rushing the farming items first. It looks like potentially. Yeah, he's gone for the Ring of Health. Okay, now he's bought boots too. He's kind of realizing the weakness there, and in fact, they're going to find 2 kills in the top lane too. Excuse me. Not even 2. McCreamer does get away. They lose the Phoenix. And this Phoenix with the dive too. Just chased him down after popping that. Staples versus Limitless Tilt in the mid lane. This is DK versus Void Spirit. Seems like, honestly, not a bad lane for DK. Having that constant regen is nice. Although you don't get protection from the magic damage, you still, just regen it over time. Especially with the damage output from Void Spirit, just having that constantly is super nice. Probably not going to get a kill on the Void Spirit here, but he does pop a DD with 3 range creeps to farm, so still pretty happy. And Staples has a decent XP lead as well. Looks like some of that is coming from the rune advantage at the same time, so it's mostly just Staples maybe outplaying slightly Limitless Tilt here, but also having the rune advantage. Obviously the DD is just a big deal right now. Bottom lane, we do have a spin on top of the Shadow Shaman. Spin's going to end soon, and I don't know if it's going to be enough by itself. Does get the Hex back onto him, and with the Grimstroke not chasing, Legacy can't find the kill on the Mug. Mug's just going to pop a salve and be A-okay. Able to get a grab back on the Grimstroke now too. This is where you just dive to the support too, because as soon as the boar hits you and the boar is level 3, it's just like, okay, I'm probably dead if I'm not really close to our tower. Mr. Creamer, realizing that he's kind of struggling in lane, has opted to go for the jungle. It seems he might be running back now. He's only level 5, and again, Narathian being level 6, I don't think he can contest this anymore. Mr. Creamer might just be dead. Without a level in Pit of Malice, though, it makes this a little bit hard for them to grab. They need a lift from Spaghetti Jesus. Spaghetti Jesus is a bit behind. He needs to run underneath the tower, but they have creeps underneath the tower if they want to dive this. Narathian seeing that Starting to walk underneath Spaghetti Jesus as well, looking for it. They could potentially dive this. He's so low, a Fade Bolt could even do it. Does get one right click in, but no, Spaghetti Jesus is a bit far behind. Doesn't want to go underneath the tower with the Shadow Shaman TPing in. I think they maybe could have gotten that kill onto the Wraith King there. That seemed a little passive from Spaghetti Jesus. And instead, they're just going to kill Spaghetti Jesus because they have all the lockdown in the world. Might see, yeah, at least get a return kill onto the Wraith King ulti. And in fact, Narathian probably not even going to die for this. He's just so tanky right now. You look at just the bulkiness of this boy. Needs to get another Firestorm off, and then he can just continue to tank this damage. But he instead goes for the kill onto the Phoenix, which he does get. Needs to just pop a salve right now if he wants to juke into the trees. Mug doing a nice job of juking that out as well. And Narathian able to pop the salve, does get canceled out, but now Mug is a bit trapped with a lift up from Spaghetti Jesus after the TP. Narathian still here doing just fine. The stun coming through from Mr. Creamer, but you don't do any damage. 76 damage up on Narathian. He maybe could have just turned that there. Yeah, this is just Pit Lord gaming to a T. It's so hard to commit on this hero once he's this leveled. And sure, you don't die there on Wraith King, but still, it's only level 1 ulti. They have another 2 minutes to try and kill off this Wraith King now. I think you'll still take that if you're Narathian. It's unfortunate that you lose Spaghetti Jesus, but still doing a lot of work here in the top lane and mid lane as well. Staples just owning at this point. Just pure domination. I think he kind of caught up when it comes to XP, but I think that's mostly because Limitless Hilt was farming the jungle camps as well. But DK really taking a big advantage here. I'm gonna miss Bulljack's message because I'm not paying attention. Or let me just tell him to Steam message me. Steam message me. Yeah, I only have one monitor right now. I'll look up the other one later. Limitless Tilt's actually rotating top. Get a bit of damage into Pit Lord, but again, I don't think he dies for this. Maybe? It's gonna be close. Especially with the Dissimulate missing. Yeah, he does die for this. Oh, those skeletons actually do a decent amount of damage. If he gets another Firestorm out there, it could potentially turn into 1-for-1 with Limitless Tilt dying, but they do eventually kill off Narathian there. Let's see what he's actually going for first, too. It will be the Mech Rush from him. Probably into Guardian Greaves. Pipe seems decent. I always like going Pipe against Phoenix just because if you want to just turn and hit the egg, just pop the pipe, and you don't have to worry about damage. It's probably either a good idea to get on DK or Pit Lord, but DK is probably going to go more offensive items and not pick up the utility stuff that, you know, typically you would rely on Pit Lord buying. I mean, it's a decently close game. I think the biggest winner right now is just Staples taking his advantage from mid lane and moving it to the top lane. So they're able to take the safe lane tower. There is a TP up right now from Fat Loser, but I don't think he could do too much up here. He probably won't die because he does have the dive as we lose the Grimstroke in the bot lane. They're going to chase... I don't think they can kill Legacy here. They did commit the roar for the Grimstroke. Jug gonna be fine. Down goes the tier 1. Mr. Creamer running in with the stun. They're gonna try and bring down Narathian. That ulti is back up for the Pit Lord, but the stun from Staples perfectly timed. They're gonna find Mr. Creamer and look for Wraith King once again after he respawns. And Pit is there jumping back in as the mid laner. Limitless Tilt getting some damage, but again, just not enough to save his safe laner as Mr. Creamer drops. I mean, there's only so much a Void Spirit can do. He doesn't have another ulti charge either. He just rotated to death right there. Kind of a tilting play for the Void Spirit to make. I always hate... I mean, I make that play constantly, too, as an offlaner. You try to rotate to another lane, then just end up dying because you really just don't have the support there from their team. Beastmaster still bottom. They didn't rotate him up to try and defend the tier 1 tower. It seems like a bit of a late engagement from Mr. Creamer, but maybe just a slight miscommunication there on what they wanted to do. Fat Loser again gonna show up top. The stun connecting as well. Spaghetti Jesus looking for the lift, does have the dive, dives forward, goes for the egg. They're just gonna turn and hit this, and I don't think they can actually kill it, especially with the rotation from Mug. He's punishing them for going this far. Right outside the tier 3 tower with 4 heroes on top, they're gonna find Staples for 256 gold tier Void Spirit.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And he is well on his way to Yules now. That is a great way to make a comeback. Mr. Creamer with the DD in the mid lane should be able to find this mid lane tower. And a great opening there found by the Wraith King. Legacy still working on this Battle Fury. I never know when it's a Maelstrom game on Jug or when it's a Battle Fury game. I guess this game, maybe it's Battle Fury because it's easier to kill the skeletons from Wraith King. Trying to think. Also, the other question I have for Jug mains or carry mains is it worth not upgrading phase boots? Because you would think phase boots would be worth upgrading too, just to give you a little bit of faster farming speed. And the Legacy choosing to just keep him at brown boots here while he farms the Battle Fury. And I think it's obviously going to be... I've experimented like twice with treads on Jug, but it never feels very good. It seems like it's going to be awesome with the way the ulti works and just needing that little bit of extra attack speed. His Legacy might just die up here. They have the Roar as well as the spin coming through though. Yeah, no. It's still not going to be enough. Just the right clicks. Power of Beastmaster power. Slight power of Void Spirit. Obviously, Void Spirit can't do too much damage there. It's mostly just up to Void or Beastmaster. But wards dropped. It will be a tier 1 dropping in the top lane, bottom lane. Trying to do the same thing on the other side of the map. Entropy wants to take a fight here. There's a nice egg on top of the cliff, and they don't have vision on this. They're still going to try and fight this, though. They lock down Shadow Shaman, plus the mid laner and the Void Spirit. Egg pops off. Flat Loser still stuck on this cliff. Will dive off, get the silence back onto the Void Spirit. Do they dive this any further? They want to try and find the Void Spirit here, missing the Breathe Fire, but the pit coming out from Narathi locks all 3 in. They will look for the Wraith King afterwards. Mr. Creamer getting stuck, does have the ulti, still level 1, and I think they can kill him afterwards too. They have more than enough stun. A 9-9, 15 minutes in this game. We look for the bounty runes. Hawaiian Pog picking those up, pushing Legacy out of the jungle as well. I should be on net worth, and I am not. Maybe this is a tier 2. Staples just lost his DK form. So it might be... I don't know if they just back off from this, but maybe Limitless Tilt has gone in a bit too far. Staples looking for a stun. You also have the grab from Mug. Do they have the timing for this? The pit coming out doesn't stop that grab. Void Spirit gonna get locked down. Pops the defensive Yules there. Instantly rooted again. The right clicks connect, and Staples is able to finish off the hero with the stun. Mr. Creamer almost certainly next as well. Yeah, and he's just going way too far without the ulti.
Hello?
Yo.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, dude, your mic sounds different. Wait, are you watching in game or do I have to stream to you?
Are you watching from Dota TV?
Yeah, I'm watching from Dota TV right now.
Oh, so am I.
Okay, so we're good then. I don't have to stream in Discord.
Oh, okay, so this is the Legacy team versus the Webby team?
Yes.
Okay,
I think it's Entropy, and I forget the other team name. But anyway, I've just been saying Radiant Dire so far. I think this might just be a high ground push too, as they kill up the Void Spirit again. They've already lost Wraith King twice. And, well, I guess with the 2 charges in the ulti limit, they're still able to get away there. Interesting that he had that. But yeah, tier 3 almost certainly gone DK form. Super strong on the high ground. I mean, they kind of just hit a really good timing with the Guardian Creeps up on Narathi right now. There's so much sustain.
This is massive, yes. The amount of the healing coming out from the greaves is just allowing them just to sustain all this damage coming out dire.
Yeah, oh, there's another nice pit from Narathi too. We have an egg on the backside, and I don't think Sick Nasty can kill it alone, so it's probably gonna pop again. I've seen a lot of good eggs from Fat Loser. Able to get those off, but they just don't turn these fights around. They're still just gonna push on Entropy. And probably get the 2 racks here. Now, unfortunately, the tier 2s are up in the other lanes. Oh my goodness, Staples. I mean, this is kind of a risky dive to
That
take.
was sick. That was cool, though. That was cool.
It's probably like a 40-60, you're gonna hit that stun most of the time. It's kind of a weird dive to take, but...
Is Staples the offlaner now? I thought Staples was the 4 player.
No, Staples the mid laner.
Mid laner?
Yeah, mid this time.
I thought Narathi was the safe laner, Legacy was mid, and Staples was
and
4.
then Narathi went off, and it's Staples mid with Legacy on position 1.
Yeah. I know Legacy a while, I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, I was a little... I guess Battle Fury Maelstrom is just the current argument right now. I don't know which one's worth going over the other in what specific game, since I don't play core, but has gone for the Battle Fury. They're going to try and find the Beastmaster in the top lane. They don't have another stun, but it shouldn't matter, especially with the pit coming out. They will at least get a turn. Hawaiian Pog making a nice play to kill off Spaghetti Jesus. At least you get that. It maybe slows down a push from Entropy. Don't have the Rubik for another 20 seconds, but the Roar committed does mean it's kind of hard for them to fight when this... I think they back up and go to Roche. They probably don't go high ground here, but...
Yeah, no. Maybe just take, you know, the dire jungle over, perhaps.
I thought they would take the tier 2 first, honestly, but they might just be going to Roche right now. Legacy was sitting in there for a little bit.
The Radiant do have control of both outposts right now, so Dire's going to have to make some sort of a move if they don't want to fall further behind.
There's Manta being worked on by Legacy too. Still a little ways away, but I mean, since he's got that Battle Fury, he's got the phase boots up. It goes pretty quick. I think Staples is working on a pipe too. Also, rip that bird.
Yeah, but 2 pipes, I think it's kind of redundant. Or sorry, Dave, 2 hoods. Sorry, I think it's okay, but
it's fine
feels
because
weird.
one of them is probably gonna go for the Eternal Shroud. I don't know which does which. From maybe DK goes for the Shroud, and you put the pipe on Pit Lord.
DK picked up a Blink Dagger. Interested to see what he queues up next.
Straight into the Strength Blink.
Which-
I don't know, it seems like he's doing enough damage right now. It's really just about if he can get on the high ground and start pushing towers.
To riches.
Probably a lot of options. Is going to look for the Agnums. I've never seen anybody buy the Shard on DK, but I've also not seen a lot of DKs, so...
Same. I'm surprised to see heroes in this game when I started watching.
It's not that strange.
I don't think. I mean, I guess because in the anime, I see it. I've seen it the last few days. But perhaps Staples is a big anime fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just
Let's
thinking,
back
even
up.
without the anime, DK's like still kind of a niche pick every now and
I
then.
agree. I agree. I agree. I think this Underlord actually is so good against the Dire team.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a good hero.
Well, that's
against
why it
Lords.
was in the draft, they picked the Wraith King into the Underlord. Like, the Underlord was picked first,
right.
and then they
Awesome.
picked the Wraith King. So I was like,
Cool.
kind of a rough lane to start. So we do
What
get a
are
fight
they-
initiating. Again, a nice egg. Legacy gonna try and turn and hit, but look at the right clicks he's tanking. Does kill the egg right before the egg is popped. On the backside as well, they find the Grim Stroke. Spaghetti Jesus trying to get away from Limitless Tilt, but might not happen. Look at the pit. Again, locking in Mr. Creamer and just making it so they can focus down the Wraith King once and maybe twice. Spaghetti Jesus now probably gonna
Jesus,
drop
tank?
down. He's still somehow alive. Not sure how as he tanks the last hit from the Dissimulate there. Mr. Creamer gonna ran up to the high ground, will eventually drop, and it's 3 heroes dead in that fight. But it's gone on for so long that 2 of them are respawning in the middle of this. So they might still be able to make this defense. Staples has the ulti for just a bit longer, about to go away here. Does have the grab from Mug as well as the pit onto 2, but do they have any damage to follow this up? The Sun Ray connecting on the Staples for the most amount of it. Not quite enough to kill though. Slapping a creep there is Mug, and they will go for Narathine instead right now. But Narathine, pretty tanky. He's got 14 wand charges as well. Going for the ulti out, turns pits too. They might just be able to find Limitless Tilt. Yes, they do. I don't even think they need to back out here, but they will. All the way back to the base.
Oh my.
Dire's middle tower is
This
under
Jug Healing Ward is actually carrying the fight so hard. I don't know. They need to try and get somebody in the backline and cancel it.
I mean, it's basically just Void Spirit is your prime person to go do that. It's just you don't want to spend the ulti charges like that. Maybe Phoenix could do it.
This Race King also went a weird build. He went Midas into Armlet, which I feel like is not normal.
I think when you have a bad limb, you don't want to go Midas either.
Dire's
Yeah.
middle tower is under attack.
I don't think you really... I mean... I think Midas in the Jug is okay, but you need to like commit to Midas or Radiance and the Zero.
Has fallen.
Now he's looking to pick up a Sanj and Yasha. It's pretty good against all the
Yeah,
Radiance
SMY
sides.
is decent. And I think, yeah, it's probably going to be Megas here. It's a bit of a hard defense to make. They needed to like try and get a grab on Legacy or something before he's able to get anything off. Another egg coming, but I think they can just back away from it. You might tank this on Staples, but obviously he's the tankiest person. The stolen wards dropped on the low ground here, and they might even find a kill with it as Mug drops. Wards are pretty far away from the tower, so they probably won't be able to hit with that, but not really too big of a deal. Tier 3 probably still going to drop anyway, and they've killed off the Shadow Shaman into an instant buyback. Narathine on the high ground again, as well as Legacy to hit this tower. Hawaiian Paw getting super low as well. Just constant strokes of fate from Sick Nasty on the backside. And now they're going to try and go for a couple kills as the fight splits. Juggernaut just killing off 2 heroes. Might see a buyback from the Beastmaster. We've lost Staples though. Limitless Tilt doing a nice job here, cleaning up some of the bigger heroes in front of the tower. Mr. Creamer gonna try and get some hits into Legacy, but again, just not enough damage now with Narathine here. Almost does nothing. Spaghetti Jesus blinks up to the cliff, and now he's kind of trapped up there. Limitless Tilt doesn't know this though. The stun coming through from the Inkswell. Not enough to kill off Void Spirit, but it gets very close. Instead, Mr. Creamer falls. Limitless Tilt thinking about running up to the high ground, but again, Narathine, so tanky at the moment, is just full health, almost full mana, clapping down a Shadow Shaman. That's a dieback. I think we had, yeah, the buyback from the Beastmaster, but I don't know if they could kill him here with just Narathine blinking in. Spaghetti Jesus looking for a lift, doesn't have it off cooldown, and also completely out of mana. It's just going to turn Get Roared, and Narathine taking the Uber out again. They don't take the Megas, but they do take the last, or they didn't even take top barracks when I'm even.
No, they only took a tower, but they did force a lot out of the Dire. The Dire's kind of is missing just like key items to kind of combat as a team. They don't really have a lot of auras. They don't have a Spirit Vessel to like counter the healing. They feel like they're playing from behind, unfortunately.
I think the biggest issue too is they don't really have anybody that buys a Spirit Vessel this game. Maybe you just gotta go for it on Void Spirit.
I think Phoenix buys it, or even Void Spirit, definitely one or the other.
I think Phoenix is gonna get it a little bit late, so you probably do Void Spirit. But yeah, Beastmaster typically isn't gonna buy it. Same thing with like Shadow Shaman, Wraith King.
He wants his Necronomicons, and he has it going Solar Crest next.
I mean, that's every single Beastmaster game. There's not really any switch up there. No way. We will. I think they just wait till the next Roche since it is only 2 minutes away anyway. Plus a DD out front.
We do the axe up on the Dragon Knight, so he's gonna get a lot stronger with this next time he hit level 18 as well.
I'm surprised he's only level 18 at 26 minutes with how involved this game has been with kills, but... In top lane as well, Sick Nasty with the Rod of Atos. Comes in handy against a couple of heroes, especially Void Spirit being the prime example. he's working on an eggs about 300 gold away. I mean, it's something. It makes his job a lot easier jumping on the back lines and killing off a Rubik or a Grimstroke. But they're just going already at tier 3s. I mean, they see the 2 core heroes bottom and know they have a little bit of a timing here. Staples is just going to walk to the high ground with his eggs and get a couple hits into the tower. The tower drops. The last tier 3 tower has fallen for Dire, and now it might be the Rex in the top lane as well. You still see Mr. Creamer not committing to this fight, just farming up the jungle. Pulling a little bit of an Arteezy move here. Not even sure what he could do, honestly. It's probably the right call. But top barracks certainly dead and potentially mid now. On the backside, Limitless Tilda is going to get caught out, plus the pit as well as an Atos does have a defensive Yules here, but I think he still gets locked in by the pit. The right clicks are there. Maybe they can get a kill into the Rubik, which they do, but there's no buyback for Limitless Tilda on the Void Spirit. Fat Loser getting a 6 Sunray in for some damage, but still not able to bring anyone down, and blinking forward as Staples connects with the stun on a Fat Loser. We might see, or actually already used the egg in this fight, but still able to just walk away, and down goes another support and Mug. Shadow Shaman dropping right next to the barracks, and I think, yeah, that's probably just GG.
GG's called.
Kind of a messy game, I think, for Dire.
Very clean coming out from Radiant, though. Being in the right positions while being ahead. Always on the enemy side of the map.
It was a pretty strong victory, I think.
Who's the MVP for you this game?
Probably Staples.
Staples, yeah.
I think he just won the mid lane pretty handedly against the Void Spirit, which is probably a DK favored matchup anyway, but let's see if we can actually get in the lobby. Oh, we can. Can you get in the lobby? It is Webby versus... Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, they're flipping the... Oh. I mean, some people just do that because they don't know how to set things up.
Yep.
They probably haven't marked the win either. Mark the win. Another thing people Space Jam is the other.
It messes up with the toss though when you mark the win. I believe it will be. We'll see.
Oh yeah, when you if it swaps the teams, that's why you kind of have to do it without the toss. But wait, Space Jam wants Dire, so yeah, it is gonna mess it up. I think. We'll see. Okay, this just didn't mark it. Whatever. Whatever. I guess I just have to do my job.
Oh man.
Where is my text for this?
It feels bad. It's so simple, but unfortunately, you know. Anyway, Pango ban coming out first from Entropy. There must be a Pango spammer on this Dire team. They must know something I don't know.
I can't remember if they banned that last game or not.
I think this Rubik ban is a respect ban coming out from Space Jam. I think 6 Nasty played really well on it last game.
That's pretty solid, especially the stolen wards a couple of times. It's a big deal.
Dire team pick.
Instant Mars pick too. They didn't pick their offlaner first last time, but this is kind of a switch up. Mars is in a weird spot.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this here. I don't think this is a very good opener at all.
Team pick.
See how they respond to it. Void Spirit. I guess it's a good hero, but if it is a 1v1 matchup against the Mars, I believe the Mars wins that matchup.
They put Mars mid?
Yeah, against the Void Spirit.
I mean, it would seem likely just because of how tanky Mars is. Do you have your dogs next to you?
Unfortunately, they were just a little rough house, and now they'll be quiet, I'm sure.
Unfortunately.
Aya loves running around. He's been in a cage all day, so. We played outside before he came, don't worry.
10 seconds
Okay.
remaining.
But, you know, they're Huskies in a lab. They're never going to want to
5
stop.
seconds remaining.
Mars plus Shadow Shaman is a good setup too if they want to run like an aggressive offlane. I mean, that combo can get quite a few kills.
You can send the Mars mid, you can send the Mars offlane. The Shaman could also go 4 and 5, so it's a very good 2 picks out from Meridian here. It's very
Yeah.
flexible. The Shadow Shaman's also a pretty good answer to Void Spirit. The instant Hex is pretty invaluable against heroes like that.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to have the Pit Lord because, like, Pit Lord is really good against Void Spirit. You see every single time you wanted to use Yules defensively, that Pit was just still going to lock you down. So, kind of hard for Void Spirit.
Dire here. In response to it, what they assume is an offlane Mars. So Dire assumes that this Mars is offlane. And they're going to ban 3 carries now, or 3 mids.
Do you ban 3 mids or ban 3 carries? I mean, they don't have either. Well, they might not have either if Mars is going offlane.
I think I would ban Monkey King, because to just protect like the Void Spirit, even the Undying to an extent.
5 seconds remaining.
And then, I don't know, what else would you ban? Maybe the Bristleback? I know Narrathine is pretty popular for that.
Yeah.
We can always do the Night Stalker ban as well. A Night Stalker's pretty good against Void Spirit and Undying.
Maybe the DK. I don't think you want to run, like, if they want to put Void Spirit mid, you don't want to run the same lane over again that ended so well for Staples in the last game.
Who? Was Void Spirit able to gank other lanes at all?
Not really. There's some movement, but I think he rotated to his death at like 10 minutes. So
unfortunately,
kind of kills it. Tried to gank the Pit Lord, I believe, and that's where it's just rough. So.
Still one more ban coming out for each team here. Queen of Pain ban. Those are interesting bans there.
So you might not think Void Spirit's going mid yet, then.
I definitely think you flex it. The Void Spirit can pretty much... Actually, it can go any lane to an extent. It's not terrible.
10
in
seconds
any of them. It's always best mid, though.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Gone are the days. Well, I guess pause 4, Void Spirit's probably still okay. Pause 3 is kind of meh compared to some of the other offlaners.
I agree.
Probably get a little bit more use out of your offlaner. You could maybe go Beastmaster again for Space Jam as well. Decent in the Mars, I think.
Dire team ban.
Obviously, just pick up stuff that can actually get you outside of the Mars arena. Is another big deal. Maybe a Mirana game. We'll see. Mirana Undying's not the greatest support duo, though. I mean, you have lockdown, but not the reliable.
Yeah, just an arrow.
I mean, you get some of it from Void Spirit, too. Especially since both of them buy Yules. Shadow Shaman's kind of an easy arrow in most fights as well if he's going to be shackling somebody.
Dire team pick.
PL ban is a little... I guess it's fine right now. They don't have too many counters to it.
They're afraid of getting 18th picked PL. But there's one hero that stands out that hasn't been banned in this game, and that's Alchemist so far. And an 18th pick Alchemist for Entropy could be pretty devastating for this Dire team right now.
I don't know. I think they'd still be fine. You just have to switch up your game plan compared to last game and actually go for the, oh god, the Altar Urn. Whatever the heck the upgraded one is.
Spirit Vessel, yep.
Spirit Vessel.
Radiant
Probably first item. Little bit of a strange pick there, right outside the ban phase, but it will be Luna coming. So probably Luna plus Undying.
Ten seconds remaining.
It's not a bad duo either. It always feels nice to have some sort of stun for your core. Plus one that can do a decent amount of damage in Luna, and also they can push really heavily with Tombstone, plus, you know, Luna just hitting things. Both lineups are actually pretty strong at that. Shadow Shaman with the wards, of course. I expect Entropy to go for their second support here. No, they just go for the DK again. This is where I thought they might ban it on Space Jam, because I was like, you probably don't want to run that same matchup, but potentially going to see the same thing here.
They should pick Razor on Dire
10 seconds
right now.
remaining.
Then, you know, Void Spirit's probably 4.
5 seconds
But then
remaining.
dying
Void Spirit in
5.
4, it could still mid, and you can send Razor off lane. You can send Luna 4. You can send Razor carry. Luna, it can still be played as a support. It's not awful. It's not bad.
Razor does seem pretty strong. I feel like if you want to pick
They
the
give it
Razor
both
and
heroes.
give it its most potential, you just throw it mid to just not worry about the DK.
Radiant
Timbersaw
team
is also an option.
What the
Ursa.
hell are these lanes? Mid Ursa, I think.
I guess it has to be mid Ursa. If Ursa matches up against like the Mars on the off lane, I don't think he actually wins that lane
No,
against a
he
Feminine
doesn't.
Mars. That's a pretty
It's the
rough
same
lane,
thing as like the
actually.
Mars Monkey King matchup,
10
where Spear
seconds
is your
remaining.
ultimate enemy. So
5 seconds remaining.
that seemed, I don't know. I think you're right. You get away if you pick the Razor here. You have a little bit more strength to like. You can put the Razor mid and be fine. Here, they might throw Ursa mid. Maybe it's a Void Spirit mid. Who knows where Luna's going in that case? Maybe it's a pause for Luna. Not the most unheard of thing in the world, but a strange draft so far from Space Jam.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of potential in the flexibility in their drafts, so that's kind of what they're going for.
I mean, there's flexibility. I don't know about potential.
Viability, maybe is Stroll? Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think of all the variations they can do, and none of them seem like that particularly great. I mean, like you said, Ursa isn't great against Mars, so I mean that kind of flexibility doesn't really help you. And the same thing with like putting a Luna mid into
10
DK.
seconds
That seems kind of like a toss-up lane for the most part. Probably going to end in a draw.
I think the DK, maybe it could start out maybe a little rough the first couple waves, but after a while, Dragon Knight will just take his tower
Yeah.
with a couple ultis, and then
Luna's
it'll
just not
farm.
good enough.
Yeah,
Well,
she'll
Luna can
farm.
push, but
Do
not
anything.
take the tier 1 tower before a
Mhm.
DK can.
There's no kill threat on a Dragon Knight, unless
Yeah.
I just don't see how they do kill him.
Unless it's like a big misplay from Staples.
Timbersaw and OD bans coming out from the Radiant, both very, very good bans.
2 strength heroes here that are pretty strong. And the Troll Boiler, of course, you don't want to have to deal with OD.
10 seconds remaining.
Last pick support here for Entropy. At least what it should be.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
And yeah,
Which
they've been
are
out to
Wyvern.
support at the end.
I think those are 2 very solid bans.
Is this
against
the
their
last
team.
pick Alchemist? Is that why they banned AA?
I think
Get
they
some
would
really
lose.
weirdness in there.
Alchemist.
Both these teams needed extra support, I think, but
10
Space Jam
seconds
could still be
remaining.
doing some weird strategy.
5 seconds remaining.
Entropy for sure, probably just gonna pick up something. I don't
They-
even
they
think
pick
you
up
have
their
so much
fire, or they
stun
pick
on
up-
this lineup too.
Do
Like
you send this Mars 4? Do you send they have to pick up a 5, right? Or a 4? It's gotta be. So
it could be
Where's-
either. I think, like you said, Shadow Shaman can be 5 or 4. So
what do you need right now?
I
They
don't know,
have
probably just
put
something that's good
Yeah. There's more
against
control.
Ursa. You don't have the Rubik again, which would have been nice this game.
I think the Witch Doctor is particularly good.
Yeah.
They can go with a Warlock is not awful as well. I really like the slow. And Fatal Bonds is a pretty good spell against these heroes. Crystal Maiden.
Dire team
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine too.
Okay, they just go with the Beefcake,
Yeah, I think
and
that's fine.
Bloodlust is a really good spell.
Bloodlust for Troll and Dragon Knight is insane. A little bit of extra stun. I mean, Entropy is not lacking in that
10
department.
seconds remaining.
Every single hero except one.
5
Technically, if you
seconds
count the
remaining.
net from Troll
Yeah.
Lord.
I think I would, yeah. This Radiant draft is looking pretty scary right now. I wouldn't want to play against it.
It's a really powerful level 1 draft too if Entropy wants to try and find first blood. Could just run 5 heroes at bot lane or something. Space Jam, I have not keyed into their draft yet. I have no idea what they go for here.
I didn't
Maybe
think
they
about
don't either. They're randoming it. Did it random? No, they go for the Pit Lord.
I'm curious, actually, if they randomed. Okay. Pit Lord is pretty good against all of these heroes, so...
It's a mid Void Spirit. Mug is playing a Luna, so it's a support Luna, with Fat Loser Undying. Of course, Mr. Creamer going on Ursa, so that'll be safe lane.
That's a 4 Luna?
I just don't agree with running Void Spirit into staples again. Maybe Limitless Tilt is like, you know, I figured this matchup out and something different is going to happen, but...
If he actually is able to, if he just gets level 6 and makes a rotation to either lane, that's more than enough to be effective. But
I mean, but even still, it's like if you rotate and die, kind of similar to last game, which you totally can. Again, they have a lot of lockdown on Entropy.
I don't know. It's pretty rough.
You kind of need to make it like a 3 or 4 man rotation. I feel like if you're trying to make a play, you can't just like show up in another lane because you found a haste rune.
The Troll Ogre matchup versus Underlord and Luna, I actually think the Troll might win that matchup. And this game might go really south really fast. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see. The good thing for Underlord is that if he doesn't die within the first 3 levels again, you should have a fine game. You know, there's no like hard counters to him. You need a lot of magic burst to get rid of Pit Lord, and obviously Entropy not having a lot of that. It is a weird lane though. I have not seen this Pit Lord Luna combo in a bit. If only Lunar Blessing gave your teammates bonus damage still. That would be legit. Oh wait, it does. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they took that away. I was maybe thinking of Vengeful, I don't know, something else.
It was Venge, yes, you were right, yeah. The night vision is pretty good on it too. I think you start...
I think you start Lucent Beam is fine. Night vision is good if you're looking for a kill at level 1, but you kind of need the lockdown.
Yeah.
4 heroes are just sitting on this high ground though.
Seconds to battle.
Space Jam wants to try and find
there's
something.
3 there, Dragonites just chilling. So, they looks like they're just copying movements.
This is pretty boring. Level 1,
happens every game.
That's alright, it'll pop up. This patch has particularly been nice for action-packed games, honestly. It's a lot of fighting. Not a lot of stagnant farming, which is refreshing. You'll see a lot of cores try and get involved at like that 20 to 25 minute mark instead of like farming for the first 30-35 minutes of the game. It's like you get one item and you can fight with it if you're playing like a Juggernaut. Ursa's similar. Troll Warlord as well. Wraith King, it used to be you get Radiance and you can show up to fights, but we didn't see that last game. Kinda had a rough start though.
I'm curious to see how well this mid lane goes so far.
Not bad for Limitless Tilt.
Yeah. 3 for 4, that's really good. Really good.
No denies for Staples either. Kind of turning it around. And Staples missing a CS underneath the tower. This does make it kind of hard. Oof. Let's get the range creep denied though. Oof. Yeah, this is a rough start for DK right now.
Oh, he's got a lot of creeps on him too.
It's a decent amount of damage.
He should be okay. He definitely should be okay.
Yeah, he's probably not going to die for this. He's just missing a lot of CS right now.
I think you start Breathe Fire level 1, but I'm just not an expert.
They're still mostly getting nice than I should be able to get both range creeps though. Misses one. I also missed first blood since we're watching.
Missing first blood. The tips come out from both teams.
Of course. I need to take more pages from your book and only do wholesome tips.
Dude, I'm actually so PMA. People just don't believe it.
Well, you should never tip enemy players, which is weird.
No.
That's
I
weird.
don't really chat well either, and inappropriate circumstances. It's more fun, man. Everybody's happy, just having a good time.
Is it? I don't know. Being competitive is also pretty fun. It's a different type of high, though.
You're not wrong. But if we're all just mean to each other, eventually people are gonna leave, and there's not gonna be anybody left.
I don't know about that.
I mean, sure, there's always new people, but
I mean, it depends on personality. My Psych 101 analysis is that a little bit of competition is fine.
Oh, of course, I love competition. Oh, top lane, look at that.
Loser? I don't even think that was a spear popped by Narathian. Maybe it was. I didn't quite see.
He has pretty full mana pool too. I'm surprised he did die.
Sick
The bot lane here, Hawaiian Pog is doing amazing right now, actually, against the
12-2 versus 8-1 from Legacy. I believe this is a BO3, by the way, since we're in playoffs as well. For
yes, it is. Correct.
Bullshit trying to say, oh, there's a 200 MMR difference between the teams. It would still be a fun game to watch.
This Ursa is taking loads of the damage. It's actually my fault. Ooh, 71 HP.
Narathian also getting pretty low there too. And might lose a courier. Yes, he does. Bad loser. A little bit of extra range for that last hit there. Now gonna try and turn this. Narathian has a spear coming up very soon. I don't know if he can get this kill though. Mr. Creamer is back in. He can maybe actually spear Ursa back underneath the tower, but he was kind of focused in on Fat Loser there. Mr. Creamer was just sitting behind him.
This Undying just balled up. He said he's here to win.
Oof. I think kind of missing God's Rebuke there. Mid lane, we'll take a look back at it though. 10-7 versus 14-4. I mean, it seems kind of even. We can look at XP difference too. Slightly ahead on XP somehow as Staples. I guess it's extra, a bit of extra creeps.
Yeah. They're normal. They're almost
it's pretty tight.
Oh, bot lane here. Hawaiian Pog almost falling. It looks like Sick Nasty though. It's gonna
fall. No.
19 HP. The wand coming out.
Like all of these engagements early on are ending with heroes sitting at like 50 HP. Both of them even. Legacy almost trying to bring down the Pit Lord, and we do lose Fat Loser again.
Oh my! There's so much action everywhere.
It's only been 3 kills, but it feels like it's been a hell of a lot more with how close all of these kills have been. Staple is gonna find a haste turn here though, and now does have a slight XP advantage just because the creep's dying a bit sooner. And Legacy as well, taking some damage in the bot lane, but probably shouldn't die for this. Pit Lord maybe needs to get some regen here. It does have the passive headdress.
Pretty sure he can just die.
He probably just dies right here. I mean, might die to the creeps. Maybe no, the instant root from Legacy. Sick Nasty gets the last hit, and he's gonna find 2 couriers on Legacy. No, couldn't get the second one, but
yeah, I was very questionable. I don't really know what to say about that one.
I think Sick Nasty dies. Does he have mana on Luna? No. He's got the mana for the level 2 Lucent Beam, but are the right clicks going to be there? He might just be able to walk away from the Pit Lord and be just fine. Does cancel a salve, and underneath the ward, Hawaiian Pog maybe could have gotten it there. But still diving his mug. He doesn't have the mana for another Lucent Beam. We'll back off. Mid lane's still pretty... Actually, now Staples is starting to take a pretty heavy lead. In XP, anyway.
He's getting much more denies than Void Spirits.
I mean, I guess Void Spirit probably just wins early on, and then DK just takes over as soon as he gets levels. Because, like, this is starting to... I mean, he's almost a full level ahead.
He went the wrong build, actually. I think in this matchup, you max Dissimulate, and you just want to, like, push the creeps and farm. It's like you just want to hit these creeps and then go hit your own jungle creeps.
To try and just make enough space, because all DK wants to do is just shove in the lane and take your tower, right?
How's he gonna trade? Like this Resonant Pulse allows him to trade, but trading against a Dragonite feels pretty useless because he has double Bracer Dragon's Blood. This is like such like the noobiest build ever, but he just doesn't die, you know? It's 18.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's a very passive build, I guess.
He's just like, I don't play mid, let me have this Sphero, this is what I see.
It's gonna get stunned up again. Yeah, I think Staples can probably just pop ult with this catapult and then mid tower dies.
Pretty sure mid is lost now, actually, at this point.
I mean, this is the exact same thing that happened last game, though. Like, literally,
Yeah.
you know, Staples builds up like a level advantage, and that's basically it. Like, tier 1 tower falls almost immediately after that, and this should die here with the catapult as Staples is able to clear off the creeps. Illusion might make it a bit harder, but still, he's just tanking up the tower right now. Like, does not give a fuck. Not even hitting the tower either, wants to focus on
I mean, he can just die. If the Void Spirit goes in right now, he can't just die.
I think they need a rotation. Staples still surviving for now. It is level 6 on Limitless Tilt. A couple more right clicks. Dies to the ulti, and Staples, maybe he tanked up a little bit too much.
He went 4 points city. Oh my, someone message this man, please.
Wait. What's wrong with 4 points of Dragon Blood? It's fine. It's fine.
No, I'm talking the Void Spirit. The Dragon Bloods is fine. I agree. That's fine.
Tower is under attack.
Dragon Blood's like the common build, I think, for going mid. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a 60. He wants to be tanky, you know? He's gonna buy a pipe probably as well, or a hood. And you're gonna get Blink, and this means this tanky hero again. It'll eventually blossom, I believe.
We do have a little bit of quiet time. He definitely needs to buy. Yeah, he did go for the Urn this time, so that is the big switch up. Earnest Shadows on Limitless Tilt.
Nice.
Realizing that that was kind of the mistake from last game and adjusting accordingly.
He should look to rotate to one of these side lanes. The Mars is
He
probably
could
the
maybe
easiest
go
here to
bottom.
kill.
Legacy's pretty low.
That
And
too,
Sick
yeah.
Nasty isn't that hard of a kill. I think the problem with him rotating, though, is you're just guaranteeing your tower's going to die, but it's probably going to die anyway. Staples with another DK form up.
23 regen a second.
Kind of quiet down a little bit, though. Fat Loser can look for the kill on Spaghetti Jesus top lane. There's a nice spear, and Mr. Creamer can't chase any further. In fact, we've lost the Pit Lord bottom lane. Legacy even popping the ulti for this. And now is actually prime time for the rotation from Limitless. Tildy jumps forward onto Sick Nasty, probably going to get this kill. And then maybe... No, they can't actually go for Legacy now that he's committed 2 charges. But like I said, as soon as that happens, Staples does take the mid-tier 1. But I don't think you care too much if you're Limitless Tilt. At least you got a kill in the bot lane.
The
Sick
Thunderlord is not
Nasty-
having a good game.
Sick Nasty apparently mad about the other team's kill steal.
Oh, mid lane here, Staples. This Firestorm is
Rotation
really
from
good
Hawaiian
against this.
Pog. He doesn't
Hold
have a
on,
level in the Pit of Malice, though, but still taking a lot of damage, especially with the Urn on top. Hawaiian Pog has another Firestorm, but they don't want to chase that much further. Dude, I really need my Pit Lord players to start putting 1 level in the Pit. It's so useful. I mean, it's only 1.2 seconds, but still, like, that's a big amount, and even at level 4, it's, you know, basically 2 seconds. Legacy might get chased down.
Nice.
Yeah, that's just a Lucent Beam from Mug. Decent range on that. Top lane, we can kind of look at it. I should probably be over at Network, but let me give one last look at it here. 49 CS for the Ursula compared to 42. Or, wait, where's Narathian? Oh, 55 for Narathian, actually. He's ahead on this one, and now getting rotated on by Limitless Tilt. Gonna try and commit for this with the DD plus the Urn. There's a spear backward. Mr. Creamer getting the slow, but turning with the God's Rebuke. Narathian might survive this. It's gonna be close. Limitless Tilt doesn't have another ulti charge for just a bit longer, as Narathian just walks away, barely surviving that engagement. But the Blink worked on for Staples. This is the same build as last game too for Staples, if I remember correctly, just rushing Blink.
No, he went hood into Blink, I believe.
Oh yeah, he did have that hood first. Right.
With Blink first item is very powerful. Allows him to get a lot more active. Oh, smoke coming out
Also,
of
it's just
mid
like
lane.
another option to kill Void Spirit. Like, it's just gonna make his game harder. Shadow Shaman doesn't need to have a blink that early then, if Staples can just blink in and go for a kill. Might be a weird engagement, because they have the wards from Shadow Shaman too if they want to drop them. Tier 1 almost certainly going to fall here. We'll find a courier as well, but kind of showing his hand there, Fat Loser. They've actually they've canceled the smoke. They've rotated back mid. They're realizing they're just going to lose their tier 1 to the DK form. And Spaghetti Jesus getting creeped on by Mr. Creamer. Will get surrounded and eventually die here, I think. The Mars ulti being popped only on one. They've taken the tier 1 tower, but with the sick Eclipse from Mug just cleaning up the team, down goes Narathian. They've lost 3 in the top lane, and now Entropy looking a little weak here. They're going to chase them underneath the tier 1 Sick Nasty. Probably not going to die. It's a little bit too much of a dive for Space Jam to take, but they'll still take their victory. Did lose the tier 1 tower, but you got a lot of gold from that. Fat Loser ticking down slowly as Sick Nasty running in with the stun. Does get the ignite onto Fat Loser. Now Fat Loser might just tick down here. Does get some strength steal as well as a heal, but still super low. Spaghetti Jesus finishes him off. No, it's actually Sick Nasty with the multicast there. I'm surprised Narathian's coming back top, honestly. I guess he still wants to farm this lane, though. They don't really have any other lane to push right now unless they wanted to go bottom, but he is going to get caught out slightly, as well as the taunt back into the pit, and that is Narathian just gone.
That
Too many
feels really
heroes up
bad
here.
for this game. Dying right after dying,
Yeah,
2 times in a
that's pretty
row.
rough. I mean, at least Legacy's farming the bot lane, but Mr. Creamer is also rotated down here. And Mr. Creamer actually on top of the net worth chart right now, or at least slightly, and basically tied by 3 gold separates them. Staples versus Mr. Creamer. Who wins this engagement? There is a stun. Staples should be able to walk away from this. Yeah, I'm not going to chase too much further on the Ursa. Staples not going to try and stick around.
I think this Ursa should have went phase boots this game.
We do have another engagement too. Staples getting kind of surrounded, but will kill off Fat Loser. There's a nice pit from Hawaiian Pod catching in both, and now Staples gonna drop to Mr. Creamer. Again, he's just stayed up there the whole time and eventually gets rewarded, and now it's 10-6 in favor of Space Jam. And a 1k gold lead for Space Jam as well. On top of that, like, looking good compared to game 1. Staples.
No team has any ward down right now. Wow.
No, they do. They got a ward up here. It's about to die though.
There's 1 ward on the map. Sorry. Oh.
And we're about to have it here. That is a Mars ulti just barely missing.
Good job. The
Melis
lull
tilt
comes
throws out the lull.
Man.
I mean, you can do that as Mars, but it's such a hard timing to hit. Like,
I don't think. Yeah, you have to spear. You can't arena. You have to just spear.
I think can you spear and then lay down the arena? Is the spear movement slow enough?
Yes. I mean, if you're fast enough, you can do it. Yes.
That might be the way to do it, because the spear is kind of a pseudo disable while he's still flying with it.
Correct.
It's like, yeah, it's just such a tight timing though. Them having used the Mars arena is actually really bad for them here. This looks like a horrible fight for Entropy. They're just gonna get Staples brought down instantly by the Ursa. Fat Loser actually getting the kill. Limitless still jumping forward. Down goes Ogre. Spaghetti Jesus just gonna be next. Underneath the tier 1, almost certainly dropping Narathian as well. Everybody dying in the bot lane. And a Pit Lord ulti bringing everyone out to... Okay, they did finish the tier 1. I was like, they might not finish this in time. But now this is perfectly played today.
The team has addressed their problems. They're going Spirit Vessel. They have auras on their heroes now.
I mean, they have the Pit Lord. That's the difference.
Game. Yeah, they have the Pit Lord and this Luna. This Luna's doing a lot of work right now.
Yeah, I mean, all you really need is just decent eclipses and you get some utility out. Your right click isn't the biggest of deals when you have like all this other damage coming out from Ursa, Pit Lord, Void Spirit.
Legacy's still working towards his Battle Fury, almost there. Doing well. Definitely could, maybe doing a little bit better.
Fat Loser's gonna tank a smoke too. Well, technically not tank it, he does pop it. And still no blink tank on Staples.
It's on the courier. Oh no, it's the going hood. He went to the going hood. Never mind. Well, cloak. Okay.
Oh, he did skip going for the blink. Okay. I guess he died a couple of times too. That kind of slows you.
Yeah.
Six Nasty buffing up a creep as Space Jam slowly continues to build that lead. I mean, certainly taking 2 towers helps with that, and I think we might just lose Spaghetti Jesus here too. Is able to turn around Hex Limitless Tilt for now, but another charge up goes for the Shackles and almost certainly dies after that. Mars Arena Pop does connect onto Hawaiian Pog.
Oh, he's dead.
Still a decent kill. Wanted to get the Void Spirit with that spear, but I mean, can't get the 2 for 1 as Void Spirit jumps away beforehand.
There is six Spirit Vessel charges on this Void Spirit right now. It is a very uphill battle for this Radiant team right now.
I don't think
They were paying Roche earlier, like they wanted to take it too,
Radiant's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
it's kind of a hard fight for them to take, especially with Luna ulti up and it being nighttime.
They had to jump Serpent Wards to take Roche, but I don't know if they do it fast enough to not die. I don't think so. I think it's too dangerous.
Yeah, dude, this night vision's actually insane.
Look, yeah, this support Luna's not bad.
Yeah, like her vision is huge, and that technically benefits the whole team too, even though it's just a Luna thing, because everybody gets to see exactly what Luna can see. Like, this is legit.
They're countering the Radiance anime with their own.
You telling me you played on a team called Moonlight and you never picked 4 Luna?
No, unfortunately not. I did pick 4 Huskar though. That was pretty fun.
I could see that being fun, sort of.
We lost, but you know, we lost. This did not work out the way you think.
Oh, then it worked out the exact way, I think.
I fed for a little bit, and then we took some really good fights. Like I would ulti in, and then I pressed the Q, like the little knockback, and I'd knock back certain heroes. So like a pseudo clockwork kind of deal.
Stuff. Not,
you know.
I don't know about that. I feel like Clockwork's a better, you know,
much better
version of that.
Better.
But
yes, I agree.
You don't drain mana. You don't have like the permanent. If only Cogs lasted longer, that would be nice.
You know, smoke out from Dire. 5-man smoke in the mid lane. Let's see where they go with this.
I'm still waiting on my eggs Clockwork that gives you BKB while you're inside Cogs. One day.
You still a hater of the Blink, or are you a fan of the Blink Clockwork?
I've always been a fan of the Blink Clockwork.
Alright, cool.
I never buy it, but every now and then I think about it. It just never
luxury
feels
item.
like a good timing unless you're owning, like...
Oh, mid lane here.
Sick Nasty gonna get caught, and this is just a dead ogre instantly. Spear missing too, Limitless Tilt on the outside of this, and again another Mars ulti being used, and that basically just means the fight is over. I don't think they can defend against this, and now Legacy might get caught out here. You have the pit from Hawaiian Pog jumping forward as Limitless Tilt. He just wants to find Legacy and bring him down, but they're not going to chase that far.
Oh.
Space Jam very much in the advantage right now, looking to take a tier 2 tower, trying to find Legacy. He has an ulti up. Staples going in on the side onto Mug. They want to end this play, or at least end the Luna's life before they can get Eclipse off. Mr. Creamer trying to get the Uber out, does barely grab the Ursa at the very end, and now they're going to look for the Undying, who hits a ward twice, does give away his position, drops a GG tree, as well as a Courier right on top of this too. Not going to lose the Courier, fortunately, for Limitless Tilt. That actually had his point booster.
I don't know if that was worth it.
Well, it's daytime now, plus they can start taking Roche. Limitless Tilt has an opportunity to fight against this. We got the buyback from Undying. Courier dead for Limitless Tilt now, but he did get his point booster off of it, at the very least. And Tombstone being used before the Roche even happens, I guess. They're not taking it anyway. Staples fine with this? I mean, I guess you're happy with him just popping the buyback.
Even with buyback, though, he is still above gold of the other 2 supports on Radiant.
Yes, he is. By about 600 as well. So not even like not anything to scoff at.
What do you think the win probability is right now?
It's probably 60% Space Jam, maybe 65.
All right, it was 68, so pretty good. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Gamer over here.
That's just game sense, spelled jazz.
Yeah, help teach me.
You can't teach it though. Game sense is just, it's innate.
Innate. Oh.
Yeah. You just
Just
learn it
peasant.
over time.
Oh, okay.
It happens when you played as much ET as I have.
ET is such a good hero.
Just learn game sense.
Blank is about 300 gold away on Narratine right now. His game is like not great, or has actually recovered quite well after dying. Hawaiian Pog doing really well as well. Better than last game. Yeah.
I mean, we're still waiting on the troll to like become
He's
big.
going
And
pipe though. I don't like that. I think he should go Halberd. I also don't think Troll should go Sandinyashi. I think I would go BKB. Because like it kind of feels like your team is losing.
you don't have to worry about a
fight.
halberd right now if you check pit lord.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but you kind of need to fight, and I think you might just die. It's like a Luna.
We have rotation up. Narathine's got a blink. Is spotted out by a ward, but there's still 3 heroes just sticking around. Maybe they want to try and turn this onto Narathine, but yeah. They both kind of know something's up here. A lot of heroes top lane for Entropy as well, with Troll still sitting in the mid lane. Did get the S and Y picked up. The Spaghetti Jesus now looks for a Hawaiian Pog. All the pings coming out, all the scribbles on the map coming out, both. It seems like these teams want to fight here, but not really sure how to commit to it. Maybe grouping up for a smoke on the high ground here. Sick Nasty does have one in the inventory, but they're not quite going to use it yet. Working on a 4-staff right now. And I think, I don't think Hawaiian Pog dies here. With all the heroes up here for Space Jam, this is still difficult for Entropy to just run at a Pit Lord, and Pit Lord not the hero you want to initiate on either. Ibis Runa up for Limitless Tilt. Does miss the taunt just barely. A good blink play there by Narathine.
Dire's wasting their time up here. I think they should be getting a lot more out of the map if they were mid and bottom right now, farming more.
Yeah.
More
Well, this
of the
whole
map.
time Legacy's been farming too, while they've kind of sat 5 heroes
It's-
top lane.
Latest they're farming here. They'd like that whole side of the map, and they're
TP
just
bottom
locked
now
in this
from
tiny corner.
They do split up now, but that might mean Roche is wide open for Legacy because a couple of TPs were spent there. I guess Pit Lord's not really too big of a deal since he can't ulti in. But still not going to look bad. I guess they're just happy with farming. Staples also getting a BKB picked up. Still no blink on this man. Did decide to switch the build compared to last game. Bots up on Limitless Tilt, working on eggs. Still has 5 charges in the Spirit Vessel. So we get a smoke play coming from Entropy. We'll see who takes the lead here. It should be Narathine, but even we've seen him miss the ulti on Limitless Tilt, I believe, 3 times now. So they rotate over to Roshan. I don't know whose scan this is. This is Space Jam's scan. So they instantly TP into Roche, but look at Entropy's movement. They're not going into the Roche pit yet. Looking for Limitless Tilt, going for the spear. They need to time it. No, Narathine's a bit too early. And again, Narathine just barely missing this. Now it's going to lead Staples with the BKB. Should be able to stay alive here. Mug 4-staffing forward. The Eclipse almost completely blown on a BKB target, but they will find the Ogre. Maybe get Spaghetti Jesus as well, who still has the wards. Goes for the Shackles and the Limitless Tilt, but does not last near long enough. It's still going to be a nice fight win for Space Jam. Again, when you miss that Mars ulti, it's so hard for them to fight. All up to
on the spear, but
Narathine.
you can't miss those. Those are pretty game losing.
It's like either that or you have to lead with Shadow Shaman. It's your only instant disable. Shadow Shaman without a blink yet.
Safer, actually. Yeah, unfortunately, it probably wasn't in range.
It does lead to a free Roche for Space Jam. A quick one with the Ursa. At least you get bounty runes.
Radiant's middle tower is under
3
attack.
bounty runes going towards Entropy.
Take that.
Maybe 3. We still got that one on the high ground yet. I'm just staying away from right now to make sure they don't lose an extra hero, but a rough game for Narathine so far in game 2.
They lost. That was a 10-second BKB charge on the Dragonite as well.
Yeah. I mean, he
Very
would have died had
unfortunate.
he not popped it, but it just sucks
Yeah.
that you use it in a fight like that.
Aghanim Scepter now up on the Void Spirit. Pretty good for him.
A lot of burst damage coming out from the Void Spirit, and we'll maybe, I mean, 19-9 with the 5k gold lead. Honestly surprised that it's only 5k, but I guess most of that's Troll just keeping them in it. Mr. Creamer able to focus down the tier 1 tower. Not the best tower hitter, Ursa, but can still kind of do it.
I assume he goes Basher next, but we'll see.
Apparent Loser gonna take some stun from Sick Nasty, get ran at by Staples and Sick Nasty. Maybe you lose the Undying here. You can pop ulti, drop a Tombstone to make this last a bit longer, but in comes the Spear. Narathine going for the ulti again. Limitless Tilt's able to get outside of it, but at least you can bring down the Undying. Still, they have to deal with this Tombstone on somebody, though, and Limitless Tilt just going to start critting people down. Staples having to commit his BKB to hitting the Tombstone, and now the perfectly timed ulti from Monk brings down the DK. Legacy is rotated over this with the BKB of its own, trying to get some kind of kill, but the Spear from Narathine pushes away Limitless Tilt, and it saves his core. Not having a target for Legacy, Narathine's just gonna die after, and now Spaghetti Jesus finally.
No. It's
A disaster. Again, dude, just a terrible fight for them to take.
Damar speared him to the low ground. That was so tragic. It looks like the camera placement might have messed up his trajectory.
He won. I mean, he barely just missed a tree there.
It should have hit. At least it looked like it did on my screen. 10k gold ahead on the Dire now. The Dire just.
I mean, onto the high ground, they try to go.
They took it. They're taking it back. They want to stay in the upper bracket.
Goes the first tier 3, they will
gonna put
focus the
Luna to do
next. I
this.
mean, again, this is where Luna comes in kind of handy. Although it's the support Luna, that still helps. Like, it's not that much damage, but I mean, 200 damage into, you know, a couple of things there. As they do go for the Pit Lord ulti out, not gonna risk anything at the moment.
Going bottom, they immediately want to push in. This is a pretty big advantage for the Dire side here.
11k gold lead for Space Jam now after taking. Was that the melee Rex too? Yes. The DD picked up by Limitless Tilt as well. We'll look for a tier 2 in the bot lane, and I don't know what the response is here for Entropy. You probably can't fight at your tier 2. Maybe you just have to be patient and wait till they try to go high ground. Taking out the outpost.
BKB almost up on the Void Spirit. He also has a DD bottled. Ursa going to Basher into Abyssal. They have Dire's fixed up their item build extremely well this game compared to last game on all of their heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
On the Radiant side, though, Staples is getting closer to his Blink Dagger, about 500 gold away. It's going to be pretty big for them to get some instant jumps on people. They could definitely get some bursts off. Force Staff almost on the Ogre Magi. It's pretty good for them. Oh, smoke in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think they might be able to find a DK here. Staples does have his BKB to survive a bulk of this, and they will actually back off, turn around, and go for Narathine instead. He couldn't get the blink away. In fact, he did blink away. Not quite far enough, though, as he's going to die after that. Goes for the pit. The nice spear onto 2. But still not enough to save his life. They lose 2 heroes in the Shadow Shaman and the Mars, and look for a tier 2 immediately afterward. But they don't have the creep wave to actually push this. It might just be rotating bottom instead and going for the high ground push.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Legacy able to find a courier. I believe this is Aegis about to expire. And it expires in 5 seconds, so not gonna have that for this push, unfortunately, for the Ursa.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
looks like they are just gonna brute force it right here. Legacy, will he TP back to defend his tower, or is he gonna give up
I mean, it's kind of similar to the play that Mr. Creamer made last game, where he's just pushing elsewhere on the map. They're gonna Pit Lord ulti all the way back to the fountain again, and this time they've done it just a bit too. Or no, they had the right click. The final Luna right click gets the range barracks.
I think that was really bad of Legacy not to not TP back and try to fight that. 2 racks down is a lot different than 1 racks down.
Yeah. I mean, you can basically take care of 1 lane just fine, but 2 of them is where it starts to become kind of overwhelming.
The lanes are always pushed in. There's always information for free for the enemies. It's just too hard to play into. I mean, it's not impossible, don't get me wrong, but definitely not favorable.
It's
what item did he choose to go for? He's looking to go... Is he going Divine Rapier?
I guess you're gonna get used up. Staples jumping forward, goes for the stun back on L1 Pog. They're gonna try and find a kill, but again, the spear from Narathine not connecting. They will look for Mug afterwards as he commits the ulti. At least they get the damage back into the Pit Lord, bringing him down eventually. They lose Narathine, but the rest of their heroes starting to meld. Spaghetti Jesus alive for now, just barely. Does eventually die to the Undying, and down goes Staples as well. No, they've left Staples a little bit, but Mug force staffing forward. Gets the last right click. Legacy probably gonna fall here, but no, he's actually turning it on the Limitless Tilt. They can't stop this. Mr. Creamer can, though. Pops the ulti on his own, and Legacy running out of targets to hit, gets stunned up, doesn't have the BKB anymore, just wants to bring down the Ursa, but it's not gonna be anywhere near enough. Very close one there.
He almost did, actually.
It was close. It was a good ulti timing from Mr. Creamer. Had that not been up, it might have just been the 1v4, 1v3 there. Legacy was single-handedly wiping the team. Maybe they think about going for another set of racks here. Pit Lord up in a second, and he can ulti in if he wants to. And he will. So they don't have the ulti out now. They can't use it defensively.
They are committed to this push. Roche is respawning in 30 seconds, so if Dire just want to play it safe,
you probably just go tier 3 and then back.
I would just tell them
you don't want to bite off too much here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Staples thinking about no Narathine. The spear connected? I don't know what the hell just happened.
Very weird. It did connect, but yeah.
Can't really do much with it though, as Mr. Creamer just turns around. He's got BKB, he's got ulti. Can't fight it. Undying on the tombstone high ground, and this might just be Megas for Space Jam. BKB popped on Mr. Creamer, going back into Staples. Staples taking a lot of damage, not going to die quite yet. There's still no lockdown really for Mr. Creamer. Limitless Tilt jumping forward, trying to find Sick Nasty. Can't quite get the last hit, but will eventually drop to the Spirit Vessel. Again, the Spirit connecting. It's kind of a weird interaction again, but still able to get away on Mr. Creamer. I think Troll might be going a bit too far by himself. Is going to get stunned up by the Luna too, but life steals all the way back, and 2 kills again for Legacy. You don't lose the Megas here. And maybe you can even go to Roche on Troll, because 2 heroes down is kind of a window.
It's like not a big throw from Dire, but that's a throw. You can just back up and go do Roche.
Still a 15k gold lead. I think Legacy can go solo Roche right now, honestly. Might be able to find Limitless Tilt. The axe is just barely missing, and yeah, I mean, either way, he'd just be able to jump out there.
Ooh, the Void Spirit knows it's up, and he knows he should be protecting it. He's doing a very good job. I think from game 1 to game 2, he's definitely stepped it up a game, or not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think the biggest thing this game, too, is just Staples dying a couple times. Game 1, Staples just didn't die the entire time. But after a couple of rotations, Staples dropped in this lane, mostly because you have to deal with the Pit Lord in this one as well, which is, I mean, he doesn't really care about how much health you have. You're still going to get a lot of damage. Ursa actually on top of the network now, too, in front of Legacy. But, I mean, Legacy's doing a nice job keeping up in farm, even though they're behind. Smoke play even coming out from Space Jam too, but I think they're just going to use it to run to Roche. They're just playing it safe.
Roche. You got to secure your game, guys.
I think that, yeah, they just pop smoke to be like, you know what, let's take 0 chances. They might have ordered this. Let's just smoke into Roche. Be extra safe here. And unfortunately for Entropy, they don't even know that this is up, I think. But maybe not even wanting to contest this. Just wait till they go high ground. Almost certainly Aegis on Ursa. And she's on, I would guess, Limitless Tilt. Wine Plug has picked it up for now, but will pass it off to the Void Spirit. And as well, the Abyssal popped out by Staple. But no, Staple's actually probably just going to die here. Does turn around, pop stun, pops BKB. The invis from his teammates. Spaghetti Jesus might be the lone target here. And no, the Hex keeping him alive for now. We'll get the tombstone up on the high ground. Out comes the ulti from Mars as well, but again, it's just outside of the range for Dissimulate. Limitless Tilt can easily escape. It's just a rough Mars game. Don't have that for another 60 seconds for this defense, and that hurts quite a bit. Staple's sitting on the high ground for now, and I think they have vision of this too. Mr. Kimber gonna run forward, does get stunned immediately by the Luna. Turning into this is Legacy. Wants to get some damage onto the Ursa, brings him down immediately with the Aegis as well. Legacy running forward underneath BKB. We'll get the spear back on Limitless Tilt, trying to grab the Void, but it's not gonna happen. He pops the cheese, turns around, and down goes Spaghetti Jesus immediately afterwards. Legacy does have the ulti to use when he wants to use it, but he does not have that BKB. Will get focused down. Mega's gone, going for the Uber out, and it's, yeah, there's no stopping this.
Oh my. It is time to call this game and go next, I believe.
I don't know if there's anything you can gain from playing this out anymore from Entropy.
I don't think there's any way you can win this game.
I mean, your window to win this game is like them just straight up throwing. I think from Space Jam, this is a pretty hard game to lose. And based on what we've seen, I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, I think they realize their mistakes.
Yeah, and they're playing just incredibly safe too. Like, again, smoking into Roche there kind of shows that they don't want to overcommit.
He's out as well. Always just like making sure.
Probably not going to wait for another Roshan, but maybe get an extra item on the Ursa as he looks for Agnums.
Roll ended up going to Daedalus and not a Rapier, so kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. I mean, it's a decent amount of damage. He's looking for an Abyssal after that.
I'm surprised this Ursa didn't pick up a Blink Dagger this game. I feel like it's a really easy Blink Dagger game. Just jump on everybody.
Especially with, like, the Swift Blink.
Yeah, exactly. Who survives that? Is he, like, Swift Blink him on a Troll? I'm pretty sure you can blow the Troll up.
Swift Blink in onto, yeah, DK would get melted. Troll... Maybe, yeah. If you get bashes... You can maybe do it in the Abyssal timing. Blinking forward, though, they get a spear from Narathine onto Fat Loser. He does have a defensive Mule, is able to stay alive for now. Mr. Creamer jumping in with the Abyssal on top of Staples, but Staples still surviving somehow. Troll pairing it up with the Ursa, turning it around. Mr. Creamer getting gone on. He doesn't have the ulti anymore. They're going to lose the Ursa. Down goes the Big Bear, and now they look for Mug. Popping the ulti, but it's not going to be enough. Somehow, someway, Entropy finds the damage. Will lose a couple of heroes, I believe, but the bash coming out from Legacy from the ranged form even. They lose Narathine. Still an expensive fight for Legacy, but... Or not Legacy, sorry. Entropy looking for more there.
They lost the tier 1 tower, the tier 4 tower, and they're about to lose the second.
This is, I mean, it's something. They take down the Ursa, and he bought back, by the way. If they get a team wipe, this might be... The only way you could win this now is team wiping Space Jam, and I think they can win with Ursa's dieback. But Mr. Creamer getting stunned up. They have no Fortify, just focusing down the Ancient. Mr. Creamer wants to hit it, has the ulti. Legacy running in, out comes the Abyssal. Mr. Creamer getting some hits onto Legacy, does not have the ulti yet for another 30 seconds, and I believe he has buyback if he wants to pop it. Mr. Creamer almost dead, not quite dropping. Will get the 4 staff in from Sick Nasty, but Sick Nasty dropping At the same time, Fat Loser and Hawaiian Pog going for the kill onto the Ancient Legacy out here with the 15 seconds left until his ulti is back up, going for the hits. The Ancient slowly falling to the right clicks from Mug now. They need to hit something to clear these heroes, but down goes Troll, and I think that's just it. Mr. Creamer gets the kill. There is this time a nice Mars Arena, but is the Ancient fast enough? Down goes Ursa. Can they save this? They get the grab onto the Luna without the Troll. They can't push anyways, but maybe they can save the Ancient here. Spaghetti Jesus just trapped in here. Out comes Hawaiian Pog with the buyback, running in, trying to hit the Ancient. They need a stun. They can't stop him, though.
And the question mark. Oh, you love it.
I mean, an exciting ending to a game that felt like it was over 5 minutes ago. I guess.
That was awesome. You know, and everything did deliver on the final spear. That was very good. But I don't think you should pick this man
It was
Mars
too
anymore.
little, too late, I think.
I agree. This is not your hero, I don't think. I don't know.
It was rough.
Yeah, I also don't. I'm not allowed to play Mars. So.
True.
Man, Space Jam's coming back. I did not think this was gonna happen. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
thought it would be a 2-0 for Entropy.
I thought it was
seemed
gonna
like
be a 2-0
strong
easy.
draft.
Yeah, I hated Dyer's draft. The Underlord pick actually is a very big brain pick because it's really good against the Dragonite and the Mars, so it really nullifies like how tanky they wanted to be, because they can't ever walk in Firestorm without just dying.
Yeah. Alright, lobby for game 3 is up. I will be right back.
Same.
What? What? Why are you yelling at me? Here. I need that one. Alright, I'm back. What the fuck?
I'm back.
Yeah. 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 Can we do the story on the game? I mean, we can just do the 1-1. Now it can't be messed up. You just put the tab
Exactly.
on the,
They can though. They can still mark it, but like they didn't set it to best of 3,
True.
and they didn't put the previous match IDs in. Higher seed gets choice for game 3. That seems a little weird. I feel like it should be just flip, right?
I think it's fine to give the higher seed a choice. I mean, there's actually a benefit for being the higher seed then.
What's game 1? Is game 1 flip?
I think so.
If game 1 is flip, it's fine. And I agree with it. They seem choosing Dire, so they're prioritizing the quicker farming methods for the carry and the stacking, the ease of stacking to win the game. Dire offlane is also a little better too.
Dire team ban.
So changes this game that need to be made.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Quick man's coming up. Is there a Pango player on Space Jam? Do you know?
I don't, but I'm assuming there is one if they're banning it out their games.
Okay. Oh, I think Jug is a really good
It's
man.
a safe bet.
Radiant
It has to be.
team pick.
Death Prophet. Alright, I already like Dire's changes so far. I think this is their wonderful hero. The amount of flex you can put on this hero is crazy as well. Pretty much run it in any position.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Death Prophet plus... I guess, I mean, if they're just first picking a mid laner, this is fine.
It could be support, it could be 5, it could be offlane. All of those roles are not terrible for it. It also kind of denies a Monkey King pick coming out from Dire, because Monkey King is like... It's 50-50 against the Death Prophet. It can be pretty easy to lose against it.
Radiant team.
CM pick it silly too. Entropy deciding to switch it up. They've mostly been like drafting their pause 4 plus like an offlaner at the start of these drafts, but instead going for CM here. Oh, one second.
I think they're a little discouraged from last game.
10 seconds remaining.
The Space Jam does pick up the Void Spirit again.
It's not
I-
It's like 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. I promise.
Dire team ban. Alchemist.
I got some GG4 cartridges that I can't actually use yet, but once I get
What
a
are they?
vaporizer, I
10
am
seconds
going to the
remaining.
moon. Apparently.
5 seconds remaining.
What?
GG4, it's a strain.
Radiant
Oh.
team ban.
Yeah, I get to say things like that since I live in a legal state. Don't think you do.
Lucky you, I do not. Unfortunately.
Dude, I still have to pay in cash. It sucks. You can't use a
serious?
credit card.
Why can you not use a credit card? Oh, I guess
It's not
credit
legal federally.
I guess debit cards will be fine.
No, the place that I go to doesn't allow it. So
They probably
it's
just don't deal with it. If they don't do credit cards, they probably said fuck it. You know, they're only doing cash.
Radiant team ban.
Licensed drug dealers, bro. I like the future. Future's pretty cool.
The future is pretty dope. But...
Yo, so anyway, back to this fucking game. They have an alchemist on the Radiant side here, but they picked an alchemist into a Death Prophet Void Spirit. Two heroes which can be very high tempo. Like the Void Spirit can run at this alchemist early on and take his stacks if he actually goes the correct skill build, maxing his dissimilate. And the Death Prophet lanes 1 versus 1 versus 2. Like this Death Prophet could go against this Crystal Alkaline right now and be fine. So I am a little worried already.
Radiant team pick.
Good bands though coming out. Phoenix and AA is really good heroes. Both probably notably played on Space Jam as well against these heroes. Space Jam also banning out a couple key heroes of Entropy's, being the Dragon Knight for Staples, then the Night Stalker for Legacy, and then the Naratine's Bristleback.
5 seconds remaining.
Hold on, I'm playing with my cat.
You're fine, you're fine.
Oh, she doesn't want to play anymore. Okay, she done.
They need to pick some sort of control hero here. I almost would argue for an Underlord, but it's really bad pick right here. They need something to stop the Void Spirit. I think.
Dude, why would they pick Alchemist into a Void Spirit that bought Solar Crest not Solar Crest, Spirit Vessel last game?
Yeah, like, right? He knows, dude.
Especially, I mean, either Death Prophet or Void Spirit buys it in this game, I feel like.
10 seconds remaining.
Lion coming out for Radiant.
Remaining.
While Lion is good into Void Spirit, I think it might just die.
I mean, it's not as good as the Shadow Shaman, I think.
Yeah, I think Shadow Shaman is far superior. The only thing Lion will give you is it's a little bit faster and the attack range is longer, so it is a lot easier to make stacks for the Alchemist. So there is that, but I don't know. I'm not really liking this Lion pick on the Radiant side here. See what the Dire chooses in response. They need something that kind of runs at this draft. Timbersaul's still in the pool.
Nyx works.
Nyx really good here.
Yeah, all three of these heroes actually, like, really good against Lion and Crystal Maiden being two int heroes. Alchemist you can constantly stun with the Carapace, especially if he's going to go Radiant, but also if he has the Acid Spray.
10 seconds remaining.
Makes it a lot easier
you
to
can
gank
also
him.
just run around and stop him from stacking and farming. You just run at him.
You can basically just follow the Elk around because you have a lot of base regen too. Even if you like die, you're at least forcing 2 or 3 heroes to commit to you because Alchemist cannot kill you alone on Nyx Assassin. Also really good against Lion too. This is starting to look like kind of a yikes Lion game because I feel like you just die a lot or you spend a lot of gold on sentries. You have to get ahead early. If you fall behind, it's really hard to come back against a Nyx. As a support anyway, like there are core heroes that are better at it, but
the Slardar coming out for the Radiant side here. And I cannot tell you how much I actually hate Slardar as an offlaner right now. Especially into a Death Prophet Void Spirit lineup.
Yeah, it does kind of just get kited.
It's kited, you can't lane it, like where do you lane it? Like is this, the Death Prophet goes 5, I think it does fine against the Slardar. There is a lot of minus armor on the Radiant side, though. With the Acid Spray and the Slardar. So they could melt heroes. I think Death Prophet has to be played in either the offlane or a 5 role now because of all the minus armor. I think it would just die too fast if it was mid. Ooh, it's a very good hero coming out. I was thinking Troll or Terrorblade. Also, Phantom Assassins is fairly good against Slardar as well.
10 seconds remaining.
think PA is not great
5 seconds
into.
remaining.
Oh, you're saying PA picked up on Space Jam?
Yes, yes.
Dire team back.
No, Radiant needs Puck. I guess Puck is banned, sadly. That's what they needed. They need a high tempo mid that has control and that can run around and make space for the Alchemist to become this beast he is.
10 seconds.
On the
remaining.
other hand, if they want to do some weird stuff, Alchemist can go mid or off lane.
5
They can send a
seconds
Slaughter
remaining.
mid or safe. Slaughter mid sounds pretty bad though. Slaughter safe lane is not terrible. But I think it's very cookie cutter right now for Radiant. I'm pretty sure you know where everything's going so far. They just need a mid. Razor is a pretty good ban
Radiant
against
team
Troll.
banned.
Terrorblade ban coming out. Okay.
Haven't seen Terrorblade in a while. Feel like it's been banned a lot this series, but we don't get to see it picked up.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know if that's unfortunate or not, because TB is kind of like one of those cores where it's pretty similar items every single game too. This CM better have the IX mic set. It's a classic.
Dire team pick.
Oh man. Ben Queen of Pain's pretty good hero. I have no idea what Space Jam. So Space Jam can. They haven't really decided their lanes at all yet because of all these 3
5
heroes.
seconds remaining.
But what would I pick? I would go Timbersaw. I would pick up Timbersaw right now on Space Jam, and I would run at the Alk Crystal meeting lane. There's no way you could deal with that damage.
Quap would have been nice for Space Jam too. I actually like that pick in the CM Lion Slaughter. I get it, the shoe was kind of on the other foot last game. Entropy had a lot of stun. This game, like Space Jam, I guess kind of wins. Death Prophet really doesn't have that much, but I guess Lion Slaughter is also decent. Magnus is a threat. Alright, GG. Magnus is terrible. We're just going. That's it.
I think I actually disagree with you.
Nah, dude.
I
Magnus
really
is-
like this pick. I think Magnus is good. I think you're sleeping on it. If they stick this mid lane right here, they said the Void Spirit off lane,
5 seconds.
and have it run at the Alchemist. And the Magnus kind of like gets a little bit of power farm, and it can get Blink Dagger around like 13 minutes. But the other important thing it can do is that once it's level 7, it can go and take these stacks from Alchemist before it's ready to fight.
Select your heroes.
This game is actually all on staples to oh, they're sending the Magnus off lane. Oh my.
I mean, he's been successful with that before. Staples carrying the team.
Staples has to kind of carry this team, and I think sending the Magnus off lane is a mistake. I think the Void Spirit should go off lane. But we'll see how they manage to work it. I just don't see how much pressure a Nyx Magnus puts on an Alchemist rather than a Void Spirit Nyx. Or like double, damage or dispelling, or like double stun lane.
The classic MX Squire pick at the very end. Ew.
I know, right?
Someone come
Kinda
get their
cringe.
mans.
Get him out of here.
Why would you ever take a page from MX Squire's book of all people? He's the one that threw the admin show off, according to Guam.
No,
Also, this
Guam threw-
Death Prophet set is... Yeah, well, I mean... I
It's
think
what?
it was a double throw. This Death Prophet set is terrible.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's like doesn't bounce up and down and it looks ugly. I kind of don't want them to win because of it. All right, so
Really?
before we go,
It's not that
who do you
Oh,
want?
yeah. Ew. Ew. Get that off my screen. Ew, dude.
Who do you have to win? Who do you want? Who do you think? Sorry.
Uh, I'm not a fan of the last picks of either of these drafts, honestly. Like Magnus or Wind Ranger. I guess that it kind of just comes down to can Staples perform on Wind Ranger as well as he did on DK against the Limitless Tilt Void Spirit. But this is the third Void Spirit game from Limitless Tilt. He should be hot at this point. You know, he's got his warm-up games going. Comfortable in the hero. You're playing against an Alchemist too, so you're thinking same mindset. Okay, I'm gonna buy Urn, probably get a Spirit Vessel early on and do a lot of what I did last game. I think he's used to it at this point. I think that gives you a slight advantage. Again, just the biggest yikes for me is the Magnus pick. I think you can get so much more out of your offlaner. We'll just see if it ends up working out. I could be proven wrong here, and I will be. I am totally fine if I'm proven wrong, because Magnus is a fun hero to watch, but it just feels like every time I see it, it's such a difficult thing to pull off. It weirdly feels like Slaughter is kind of a better version of Magnus, just trying to like find fights and get picks easier on a Slaughter, but of course Slaughter isn't even the best this game either, might get kited. We'll see. I'm leaning towards Space Jam, but could go either way. Thank you for moderating my chat for me.
I got you, don't worry.
I just now noticed that. I haven't... I need to pull up the chat on a separate monitor.
I usually have it like on my phone. I got picked up this wireless charger a while back, and it like stands.
Oh.
So I just like have the chat on there.
My phone doesn't have wireless charging, so...
Sad. I didn't even know mine did till like, I don't know, a couple months ago.
God, those. That cheap Pixel. And they don't include wireless charging on the cheaper models, but I don't know. It's not really too big of a deal. To me, anyway.
Yeah,
it would be nice, I guess, just like leave it.
It's not it just charges a lot fast. It's like, I would say it's 4 times faster than my cord. That's the only thing that's
wireless charging is faster? What the fuck?
It is about 4 times faster.
What?
It is insane. Yes. Like my phone charges in an hour and a half from like 0 to 100.
How?
Right.
What the fuck?
I have no idea, and it's amazing.
Well, 0 to 100 doesn't matter. It's more like 0 to 75, I think, is the big charge. Because like 75 to 100 is going to take just as long as 0 to 75.
I mean, an hour and a half for the whole thing at most.
So it's probably like 30 minutes, honestly, to do a decent charge. That's weird. You would think with fast charging it'd be faster. Anyway, the cord would be faster.
I would think the cord would be faster because it's a direct contact into the machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Does your phone not have fast charging with the cable?
It does. There's slow and fast charging, but it does not as fast as that.
I did not know that technology was that good. Yep.
Right? I didn't either. Bot lane here, double stun.
Bot lane.
Nothing going on there.
Not really too much of a follow-up. We didn't see the cheese Magnus skewer somebody underneath the tower or onto a cliff, unfortunately. That is another way you can counter the Alchemist. Both of these teams, by the way, we have not seen a lot of action at minute 0 for either of these teams. It's mostly like playing passive.
What did you expect?
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, if my wife shows up in like the next 15 minutes, I am gonna disappear on you.
That's fine. We got most of the series.
See how this mid lane is going so far? In this matchup, I approve of him maxing his Z. But I would prefer him matching his W.
I would think it would be the Aether Remnant, honestly, but do you ever max Aether Remnant?
I don't. I mean, like, you max Aether Remnant in EA. If you max Q and E, you want to go for kills, is what you're saying. You're committing to killing this mid laner.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're kind of wasting your potential.
Yeah.
So far.
And I guess even if you maxed Q, like all Staples has to do is pop Wind Run after it's over, and you've barely gotten any damage anyway. So.
But if he has max Stimulate, you know. He hits him and the creeps.
And missing a lot of power shots, though, fortunately for Limitless Tilt. So, he's not taking a lot of this harass that we normally saw from the DK, where Breathe Fire is just a lot easier to hit consistently. Top lane, it's a 1v1 Mr. Creamer versus the Slardar, Narathi,
cancel the south. That's pretty big.
I feel like this is slightly troll favored just because of the Axe's mischance and how lucky you get.
Oh, it's very troll favored.
It's kind of hurting Narathian quite a bit going up against their ranged hero.
Super well though on Narathian right now.
Bottom lane Legacy getting stunned up. We get the Skewer following up as well, and one more right click gets it. Hawaiian Pog first blooding the Alchemist here.
That's
Nice
a big
stun from
deal.
Mug.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big kill to get on an Alchemist and a lot of gold to give away. Somehow, by the way, Narathian is on top of the CS charts. It's kind of surprising to see. I think you were mentioning that a bit earlier.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he is, but he's doing a really good job. But I think that I did not expect the Alchemist to die at all in this lane. To be frank.
Yeah, the only way I could see anybody dying, or at least what I thought was going to happen, was like skewering somebody underneath the tower, but they actually do it without it there. I think it's just constant harass from like Nyx Magnus. You have no way to remove the Empower, you don't have like an Oracle or anything to completely nerf the hero, so.
Ooh, mid lane, getting his bottle refilled on the mid laner here. This Mug guy is being he's gonna be my MVP 2 games in a row if he keeps this up.
Yeah. Limitless Tilt's playing a lot better than game 1 too. I think that's been like the biggest improvement for him. It's just getting
Sometimes
better
you need
lanes.
practice game, you know?
Yeah.
Me and you both know that very well.
Oh yes. I mean,
he can actually die this Wind Ranger right now if he so chooses.
can he win rate? Yes, he can. Okay, like immediately, Limitless Tilt spots that and is like, you used Wind Run when you commit
Very
it.
nice from him.
It's a pretty easy.
Limitless is actually off to a hot start. This guy is a monster.
He's just warmed up. He's at like max temperature now. Hawaiian Pog able to farm up the neutral camp there away from the CM. Kind of also, what's nice about playing the Magnus and now is that you can take stacks pretty easily as the Magnus.
You just run him. Or you just buff up your troll, and troll can just come fight with like Sanjay
Oh,
Yasha.
yeah.
And
Start running at this guy in the jungle, basically, which Nyx allows you to do. I honestly like this draft versus an Alchemist. Like, it seems very centered around the biggest issue you're going to face, which is just how big Alk is going to get around that, like, 25-minute mark. If you can just stay on top of the Alchemist in the jungle, you should be fine. We lose the Death Prophet in the top lane. This is the support Death Prophet, though. A bit of a rotation there from Staples. Did not pick up a level of Shackle Shot, by the way, on the Wind Ranger.
Not a fan.
I mean, I can see it. I feel like it's pretty hard to rotate and get kills.
Okay, I guess.
Might dive again. Limitless still thinking about it, but he doesn't have another ulti charge, so just getting some damage out, making him pop some bottle. And level 5 on the Alchemist still. Hawaiian Pog actually leading when it comes to XP. Our reverse polarity is up on Hawaiian Pog if they want to try and look for something. Yep. Maybe we get a rotation bottom from Limitless Tilt. He's potentially thinking about it, but he did just use his ulti charge to farm up the camp there. It's Hawaiian Pog constantly just faking these RPs.
Oh, double TP bottom.
Staples gets spotted out, and I think Mug might just be the one to tank this, which you're... Honestly, as a Nyx, I would be completely fine with this. It's like, whatever. There's 4 heroes bottom.
They have a ward behind the tower. They lit it... Oh, no, it doesn't show where they TP'd.
Yeah,
oh,
I think you're still pretty happy. Like,
yeah,
you can TP mid, get your mid, his bottle filled. Like, you're forcing 4 heroes to... You're not really forcing, but you're happy 4 heroes rotated bottom.
Let's see if he does it. TP mid. Nope, you're not my friend.
He's trying to save Fat Loser instead, TPing in a Narathian who is literally just going to die before a stun can come through. There's a TP coming out. Creamer, no.
Oh,
cannot get the net.
It was close. It was not bad. Narathian, though, is like... I'm surprised this Slardar is doing this well in this game.
I mean, this is his grudge game of struggled a lot in that Mars game. So, jumping back into it.
Wrong, you know?
Yeah. making up
I would
for it
too.
in game 3, and that's, I mean, that's the time to deliver.
The line is here. There's a nice ward on the high ground here from Dire. See what Radiant's wards are right now. They just they see the rotation. That's what they see here.
Fat Loser gonna find a sentry ward mid, and Sick Nasty may be looking for a freeze. Hawaiian Pog is pretty far forward with the rotation over from Staples, but again, Mug is gonna tank this, spots out Staples, and Hawaiian Pog should be able to get away here. Yeah, hits the skewer and he is fine.
Really bad for Staples' game to do stuff
And
like that.
now just right in the mid. Okay, they can't kill him. I was like, if he just instantly dies after that TP, that'd be rough. But Limitless Tilt doesn't want to commit for it. Sees the line on the side. Legacy does have level 6 now, but it's a really slow start for an Alchemist. I'm gonna jump to net worth as he is on top, but not by a lot.
He finished the phase roots before actually going for the Battle Fury. I do not agree with this build.
That's what. Okay, the game 1, Juggernaut did the same thing. I forget he was playing Juggernaut. I think it was Legacy. It might have been the other team though. Where you don't finish phase boots and immediately go for like Battle Fury, but phase boots speeds up your farming speed, right? Like,
You spent 1,000 gold to speed up your farming speed when you could just buy a Claymore and just like farm faster that way, you know?
yeah, I mean, true, but move speed. To me, move speed's always been king, but I don't play core, so.
I could agree with the Windlace, but I'm not gonna agree with 1,000 gold for boots, like extra.
Sure.
I definitely agree with Windlace, so.
Money changes hands.
I always usually buy like just the value in lace. It's so nice.
Radiant's
So we do get a courier dropped, and I think actually finding 2 is Limitless Tilt, dodging the shackle shot as well. Might be able to find Sick Nasty. And it's about the easiest kill he's gotten, trying to go for the jump away, gets stunned up, gets fished by the Lion, needs to pop the Dissimulate, goes back away from Staples, ulting back into Spaghetti Jesus, finds the kill, going for the stun as Mug connects, and now they look for the RP, but Hawaiian Pog not quite on top. The shackle shot onto 2, going for the power shot, connects, but not quite enough to kill. It was close,
He's here.
but no cigar.
Whatever. Is he gonna get him? Nope.
Is he going to do it again?
That's pretty good out from Dire here. Get some good
Yeah,
good kills
it's
out here.
clean.
Staples having the probably roughest game of the 3 series us so far. He's 2,000. Look at his net worth compared to the other cores.
Oh yeah. Like, this is rough for Staples.
Two
Actually,
levels
this is
behind.
really rough for Staples.
He is not having a good game against this Void Spirit. This was their last pick too. They last picked the Void Spirit,
The Wind
the
Ranger.
Wind Ranger. Sorry.
Thank you. I see.
Radiant's top tower is under
So it's probably a call from Staples too, like he wanted this picked up, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did die that one time too, and Limitless Tilt might just be able to finish this off. Yes, he does.
He does. Oh, sounds like my wife is some stir, so I am gonna bounce out of here.
All right. Oh, thank you, Bulljax, for gaming me, or joining
Adios.
me for game 1 and 2. We
Perhaps goodbye.
see Mug dying. Goodbye. So continuing, we do lose Mug
Radiant's
in the bot lane, but still this might be an early tier 1 tower for Limitless Tilt. 12 minutes into this game, Death Prophet still without an ulti. I mean, that's kind of what you expect from the support Death Prophet. It's a little bit hard to get XP, but as soon as he picks this up, it's kind of like a Shadow Shaman almost. You're going to use this to start pushing in some towers. 12 minutes into this game, Space Jam with a 2k gold lead. Really fighting to stay in the upper bracket here and looking strong at that, is jumping in with an Orchid Limitless Tilt. It's an early pickup, not expecting it, but the Blink Dagger in from Narathian, also unexpected. They find anyway. The Staples Wind Ranger instantly buys back as he wants to fight this. Narathian trying to turn back into Mug as the finger comes through. Spaghetti Jesus at least turning it into a kill on the Nyx Assassin. Limitless Tilt gonna have to back off here without an ulti charge, but Staples popping the buyback there. Not sure what the thought process was, because he couldn't even TP back into the fight. Now he's so low on the net worth, almost passed by the support Nyx Assassin. Is blinking in. Is Narathian finding a kill on the Fat Loser? Yes, he does, giving it to Staples. That'll help him a little bit. Mr. Creamer working on a Battle Fury still. He's also got the Empower to help him out. So 4-man smoke potentially. I mean, they're all grouped up right now. Smoke up on Sick Nasty as they think about it. Gonna try and find the blink onto Limitless Tilt, and this is about as dead as a Void Spirit can get without losing all of his HP, and now will eventually do it. Every single stun in the game, I mean, right on top of you. And again, that blink being such a big pickup for the Slardar. This Limitless Tilt game is slowed down by just a bit. Staples game picked up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe looking for more. Hawaiian Paw going for a blink after this is going to get stunned up. Nope. Spaghetti Jesus can't get it off before the skewer. Narathi blinking forward and ganks that creep so well. Bringing down... Wait, was that the Satyr? I think that was the Satyr. I can't remember the name of it, but still gonna drop. Mug without the ulti doesn't really have too much to contribute to this defense here, and did pop it just to get some vision, but Staples, does he ulti the tier 1? Potentially thinking about it, blinking in Mug. The Shackle Shot connects, and that is a dead Nyx Assassin. Spike Carapace not saving you there. Now Hawaiian Pog has to be careful. That blink still from Slardar is the biggest threat as he jumps in on top of Lion. Still can't get the damage though, as again the blink from Narathi keeping Limitless Tilt at the back lines. Narathi running forward, does not have the mash, only has 2 hits. The stun missing from Lion, a rotation early from Creamer. Gets him a kill, looking for Staples, who he does not have the wind run. Down goes Staples, Sick Nasty at the same time. Perfectly timed there from Mr. Creamer. Just finds an opening with the Battle Fury up, and Staples, without the wind run, committed a bit too hard. Dropping yet again 2 and 4 for Staples. Fat Loser also taking the mid lane at the same time. I think that's what just happened. Legacy has found some farm space. Meanwhile, we haven't really focused on him too much yet, but it is losing map control slowly. 2 tier 1s gone for Entropy. And now top lane as well. Fat Loser might just get critted up. Yes, he does. Narathi just hunting down Fat Loser every chance he gets. But I still think the DP's fine here. You really don't contribute too much outside of your ulti. When that's on cooldown, you're fine being dead for a little while.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They do look at bottom. Staples back off just slightly. We'll look for Mug and gets the stun. Staples again already committed the win run. He is just dead right now. Can't hit the Shackle Shot, unfortunately. His game continues to get harder. 2 and 5 on the Wind Ranger. At least Alchemist is starting to pick up his farm. Has the Battle Fury plus the SNY, looking for an AC. But does he have the time? It's the biggest question. We do get a bit of a smoke play. Narathi looking forward, does have the blink up. There is this Carapace used very soon. Narathi thinking about going for the blink in, but plays patient. So there's a lot of heroes here for Space Jam. It's a hard fight to initiate. And Dagon being worked on by Mug. Stack into the tier 2. And there you go. Mr. Creamer needs to be a little bit careful about the blink from Narathi here. It's about the biggest fear. You need to keep some damage on top of him as they go for the RP. Couldn't quite get it off, but now they do get stunned at the same time. He got Hex, so they can't follow it up with the hits, but they still find the kill on the Lion. A lot of damage back into Sick Nasty as well. They can't cancel out the CM ulti, so it gets all the damage out of it. As down goes 1, they find the Troll Warlord. Spaghetti Jesus with the buyback cleaning up the core, and down goes Limitless Tilt and Mug at the same time. I think Spaghetti Jesus gets MVP of that fight for sure. The Hex just saving both of their lives after the RP. There's no damage contributed after that from the Magnus, and certainly none from the Hex Troll Warlord. Narathi getting closer to that halberd, and this entire time Legacy has just been farming, taking out that top tier 1 tower. So they get some map control in return. And now looking for the tier 1 mid. We'll see if they push this heavily. It's kind of just up to what Staples thinks. If he wants to pop an ulti for this. Does have an arcane rune up, looking for a BKB. Keeping in mid is Limitless Tilt. He's on 5-2 himself. Narathine still hasn't died this game. 7-0 on the Slardar. Just an impressive game from Narathine. I mean, going up against a disadvantageous lane against a Troll Warlord, and you're ending it, you know, 100 CS right now. 7-0 on a Slardar. That is pretty impressive for Narathine. That blink timing was huge for Entropy's game. Really keeping them in it right now. It's a less than 1k gold lead for Space Jam, essentially tied as they get a big rotation for Legacy. They pop out the scan. They want to try and get on top of him. They see him underneath the tier 1 tower, but they don't have the timing for this. Mug is going to spot him with the Nyx ulti, but it's a bit too far underneath. They don't want to dive a tier 1 tower for it. Again, just not a lot of action coming out from a big smoke play. They couldn't quite find the Alchemist. As we approach the 20-minute mark, outposts are still the same as the 0-minute mark. No tier 2s taken yet, so both teams get benefits of XP there.
Radiant's middle tower.
Bounty should go 2-2. And we are about as even as it gets at 20 minutes. 12-12. Basically even in net worth. Alchemist. It's probably still slightly Space Jam lead, just because Alchemist inflation. They will try and find him in the jungle now. They do spot him. Jumping forward is Limitless Tilt. Gets the silence. Can't get rid of it as well as the silence for Fat Loser. Even popping the RP. Making sure they get that kill. Hawaiian Pog even going to use the tip there. About as big of a kill as you can get right now, and instantly that gold will be back in favor of Space Jam. And then big pick for Limitless Tilt to find as well, as he benefits from that slightly. He's working on a BKB of his own, not going for the Egnums. I mean, he has the Orchid, so he technically doesn't need that as quickly as you normally would. Mr. Creamer working on BKB as well. A lot of heroes buying BKB in this game, including Staples, who almost has his. He's short by about 1,000 gold. Should be another, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, we'll say, until he picks that up. Alchemist still, no, he's working on BKB. He's got the AC picked up. Just died with it there. Kind of surprised we haven't seen a move towards Roche from either Narathine or the Troll Warlord. This series has kind of been pretty passive towards Roshan, I think. Especially with Troll Warlord being picked up in every single game now, right? I think it was in game 1, if I remember correctly. But both teams still just passively pushing down this bot lane. Actually, Space Jam just doing that, sorry. Entropy thinking about defending as they both move towards the bot lane. RP still on cooldown for another 20 seconds, but it should be up for this defense if they want to try and make it. Blink as well on the Magnus. We'll see if we can get the same outcome. Again, last time it didn't work, the RP combo, because of the Lion. Spaghetti Jesus just making a sick play. Actually turning it around, they killed off multiple cores in that fight. But will just give away the tier 2 here and the outpost. Not the biggest of deals, but the map control is of course huge. Outpost not something you have to worry about right now. Still got 8 minutes before you need to take that back. 7 minutes. Gonna maybe look to find Alchemist in the same spot they found him earlier. As Legacy really loving this top jungle right now. Still kind of a... I mean, compared to the first two games, this does seem like kind of a slow game. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, the first two games were pretty in-your-face action.
Are scanning.
23 minutes in. Slight advantage for Space Jam as they maybe look to take this tier 1. We do get the Fortify. Maybe thinking about the deny his legacy. Right click will finish it off from Mr. Creamer. I need to be back on that roof. I accidentally popped off of it. 2k gold lead for Space Jam after taking that tower as we get a move up from Mug. No sentries here to spot him as he goes for 2, gets the RP into the 2-man stun. They get both of the supports right at the start of the fight. Legacy with the BKB cleans off the Nyx Assassin. His Staples getting a 6 Shackle shot. They turn it back into the Magnus as down goes 2. Mr. Creamer popping the BKB plus the ulti wants to try and find the Alchemist. The BKB expiring very soon. Gonna look for that Shackle shot. The regen rune being popped there. Yes, by the Death Prop. They will lose Troll at the exact same time as the Alchemist, so a big trade coming here. Staples, the mid laner, the only survivor for Entropy. The RP was okay. It only finds the 2 supports. I think they wanted the +1 Alchemist there. Couldn't quite find it. Staples gonna try and hunt for the Death Prophet. Maybe look for the Bounty Runes at the same time, but Nyx Assassin rotating down as well. You gotta be careful on Staples. This Nyx Assassin can kill you. Does, oh, miss the stun. Staples gonna be fine when that stun misses. But maybe Mug hunts for more. He does have the Vendetta back up, but I think Staples just backs all the way back to the fountain.
I think that fight's in favor of Entropy. Alchemist dying is a pretty big deal. He's down for another 20 seconds.
Again, really surprised that neither of these teams have prioritized Roche yet. But Space Jam with the tier 1 mid still alive kind of has the advantage when it comes to Roshan too. That easy teleport right there. Outpost on the high ground as well. Gonna find a haste rune in the river and maybe look for more after that. RP again up in 20 seconds. I think you just wait for RP to get up and then you go for Roche. As soon as RP is back up, you can just go for Roche. It's a little bit of a hard fight to take. You might need to smoke into it. We do have it. Space Jam kind of grouped for this. Vendetta on the high ground mid as well. We get the scan. This is from Radiant. So they will spot this. Mug running into the Roshan pit, actually thinking that maybe Entropy had tried to take Roche, but not quite spotting it. Entropy thinking Space Jam had tried to take Roche. Both teams not actually going for it though. Is Deso? Deso on Limitless Tilt? Okay, he's got the BKB up, the 10-second BKB. Alchemist working on Abyssal Blade after his own BKB, down to 9 seconds. And I think Trolls is also at 9 seconds. They're kind of just matching each other when it comes to that. Staples also with the 9-second BKB, working on MKB. Mug maybe thinking about going on the Wrathing. They get the blink forward from the Magnus into the Skewer and the stun from the Nyx. They get the silence and the right clicks. Can they finish him off? Yes, they do. Limitless Tilt jumps in at the very end. Down goes Slardar. This might be the Roshan time, but they're thinking tier 2 instead. It might be the back off and go Roche. And maybe they need to get some D wards up here though. I think this fight's still really hard. It's only 30 seconds without the Slardar, and I think they might still try and fight this on Entropy. Maybe. It's a rough call. Slardar is their fight initiator, and this is dying really quickly to the Troll. I don't even think they have time for this. Maybe they can find Limitless Tilt all alone on the high ground. Needs to get this BKB off, but he's just going to get stun locked. Limitless Tilt bites off way more than he can chew. It's a little aggressive there. All of Entropy, and at least all of the remaining Entropy players, were sitting on that high ground. They get Roche, at the very least. Losing Limitless Tilt, and the big thing is, it's a lot of gold going back into Mr. Creamer. So the next fight they take, he's going to have the 2 lives. Well, we'll see where it's going to happen. It's a bit hard to read where... Wait, what does the shard do? Causes Brookside to be applied for 5 seconds to units hit for sleep rush. Okay. It's kind of legit. Legacy gonna blink. Or actually, he doesn't have the blink yet. Just gonna get stunned up, but there's the Lotus Orb back on the Hawaiian Pog. The stun as well. On to Mr. Creamer. They found the Magnus. He doesn't have the RP for this fight anymore, but Mr. Creamer just turning it back onto Legacy. Needs the right clicks, but can't quite get the lockdown. Needs to get an F, but couldn't find it. Gonna die once on Mr. Creamer and potentially twice as they just burst him down. Stun back into Fat Loser. Fat Loser gone. Mug with the buyback here. Does get stunned up by the Alchemist one more time as Mr. Creamer surrounded and with nowhere to go. No BKB. Kind of popped his BKB a bit early, potentially tried to run at Legacy, but I mean, the man could just not get a net from the Twirl Warlord melee attacks. An unfortunate there. So we get trolled down for 60 seconds. He does not have a buyback, but they might still push to try and force something. The stun coming through for Mug leaves Legacy alive. He's got ult in 6 seconds. They might be able to stick with this. No, Narathine dropping to Limitless Tilt and might be able to find Staples as well. The taunt missing. Legacy running in with the stun. Tries to find Limitless Tilt. Yes, they do. 80 seconds without the Void Spirit, and they find Mug. A prime time to go high ground now. It's the Fortify being used. Legacy still having a couple seconds left in the ulti.
Can they make this defense? They have 30 seconds until they have help. No buybacks at all
for Space Jam. It would be 2 versus 4. And they're waiting on creeps. And with the ulti gone, Legacy I don't think they need to back off. I was like, don't back off, you totally have this. Maybe thinking that if they have buybacks on the Void Spirit, they have to be careful. But yeah, without him buying back, I think they're pretty safe now. Even with Troll Lord back up, they're going to look to take the melee barracks and maybe even the range. See it quite off as much as that, but the Blinking Hawaiian Pog can't get off the Stewart. He's just gone right at the start of the fight. 2 heroes dead. And both of them buying back instantly. I mean, it was the freeze plus, again, Spaghetti Jesus making a nice play to get the Hex out. He's got a blink up online. This is a fantastic game for Spaghetti Jesus. It might even be him getting the MVP, but I almost want to do MVP Narathine just because of how well he played against that Troll Warlord in lane and how big this blink timing has been. Just owning right now our Entropy. And I kind of thought that, I mean, like I said before Bulljax left, I thought that Space Jam had the better draft here. But just kind of outplaying Space Jam is Entropy. Again, you would think Troll Warlord and the Slardar Troll is going to win that matchup and have a great game, but Narathine doing a really nice job. Alchemist dying a couple times in lane, of course, doesn't really matter. He's got, as long as you get like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of space, you'll be right back into it. He's at 31k net worth at the moment. Lost the Aegis, but it didn't matter. Still a lot of things that Entropy is playing through right now and still taking advantage in this game. Of course, it is only 1 barracks, so still it's easy for Space Jam to defend against. I mean, based on the fact that they also have a Magnus plus a Battle Fury Troll, and clearing these creep camps isn't exactly hard. But tier 2 in the top lane will fall. They still have both towers in the bot lane as well. Get the outpost in that top lane. In that dire jungle. Narathine gonna rotate to the bottom lane. Just push that out.
Radiant's middle tower
Bit
is
of
under
movement here from Space Jam at the very end of this. They're going to try and look for something. They have a smoke ready, but it's not quite quick enough. I've kind of missed the timing now. Leading with Mug, but Roshan nowhere near back up. Legacy just going to wait for the high ground. They might have spotted that smoke too due to the well-timed and placed ward. I think that might have been Spaghetti Jesus that placed that. Both of these teams grouped up heavily. I think it's fair for Entropy too. They don't want to risk losing Alchemist again. Same thing for Space Jam too. They don't want to lose the Troll Warlord again. They just want to get him space so that maybe he can go toe-to-toe with the Elk. I think it's still slightly out-favored right now, but we'll see. Down to an 8-second BKB on Mr. Creamer. Of course, the 8-second BKB on Legacy. He's got a Swift Blink now too. Makes his game a lot easier. We saw him kind of struggle to initiate a couple of times, throwing concoctions at Lotus Orb targets and stuff. Annoying to deal with, but now he can just get on top of you before you even think about popping that Lotus Orb. They need to kill this ward. 10 seconds? I'm not even sure how they got vision. Oh, the gem. They're happy. Do steal back the outpost. And bottom push it is. They just want to get rid of the outer towers. At the same time, Limitless Tilt, I think they're kind of reading this and like, yeah, they're probably just going to be pushing bottom. Let's just get the other lanes pushed out to make them think about, instead of just going all the way through to the high ground, they maybe have to back up first. Most likely going to lose the tier 2 here. I don't think Space Jam makes a risky play trying to defend the tier 2 in the bot lane. So it's still a 10k gold lead for Entropy. We'll back off after taking that. 4 heroes in the top lane. Hawaiian Pog actually TPing back in the meantime. And it might just be waiting for Roche up in potentially 30 seconds. We'll see what kind of respawn we get. Feels like no matter what, the game state isn't going to change too much in between now and when Roshan respawns, but we'll see. Still farming just fine, going for his first Agnums here. Not even sure who he gives this to, maybe Slardar. Obviously we have the eggs already on Staples. Oh, he already... Alchemist already gave this to Staples. Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. Lion, I guess, is pretty good. It's probably Lion or Slardar. CM's is pretty memey. It's fun. It's a fun eggs, and especially if you have a BKB, it's pretty good. But I think you prioritize Slardar after this for the Agnums. Plus it gives Narathine the ability to just farm overwhelming blink strength thing. Yeah, just getting the double upgraded blanks now.
Arcane power.
Space Jam just moving around as a team minus Mug, but that's kind of what we expected from a Nyx lineup. Both of these teams just sticking heavily together. They know it's game 3. I think first game of the upper bracket. Neither of these teams want to give it up for free. You gotta stay in the upper bracket if you want to do well later on in the tournament. It just makes your life a hell of a lot easier. Want to take it slow, play it safe, blinking forward his Legacy, maybe looking to start this fight, just get the silence, but the Abyssal onto a Lotus Orb target means he just stuns himself. Legacy missing the RP though, is Hawaiian Pog, a complete disaster for the Magnus. They find Limitless Till as well with the Shackle Shot. Staples making a sick play on the backside, and Mr. Creamer gets surrounded, getting creamed himself. 17k after that, and a big oof from Hawaiian Pog. Thought that Legacy would chase further into the RP and maybe they could turn it and kill the Alchemist. Roshan up in 40 seconds. I was completely wrong, by the way. The game state changed majorly with that fight. Legacy finding an opening. And with the Lotus Orb as well, saving... I actually think that was Lotus Orb on Mr. Creamer. Kind of just elongated that, but... Buyback in from Limitless Tilt. We get the Hex as well as the stun. Does get returned onto the line, but the Shackle Shot again, Staples. You've made your mark on this game despite the rough start, and now they're just going to clean up with Legacy. The Cleave doing all the damage, and the GG called by Hawaiian Pog. It's over just like that. Entropy dropping game 2, moves on in game 3. Just hit a little bump in the road, but still taking the series. A fantastic game from Narathine. Spaghetti Jesus really popping off this game as well, and Staples with the big shackle shots to end it. Ancient falling, no buybacks, 2 heroes DC'd. Great series, though. A really entertaining series to watch. Such an action-packed back-to-back games. And the fact that we went all the way to game 3 is a classic. But anyway, that's it from me. We get the rare afternoon cast from me. I hope to get to do these more because I actually like this timing other than like casting way late into the night. This is definitely superior. 32-20, Entropy takes game 3, moves on in the upper bracket. MD2L playoffs are underway. I'm excited. Season 8 has been a good one thus far. I think we have more games to come too. I don't know if they're tonight. I'd have to check the schedule again, but look in the Discord. Tons and tons of Dota still to be played in MD2L Season 8 with the tournament just kicking off. So, super excited. A lot of fun to watch, especially this game too. Hopefully we get more games just like this. I will also be casting League of Lads playoffs whenever those games get scheduled. We'll see. I think there's only a couple games left in those playoffs, so might not be too many more opportunities to cast that, but we'll see. MD12 just getting started means I have a lot of games to cast for this. So I'm excited. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to more. Go check out other channels as well. All the other casters for MD12. There's a bunch, and they're awesome. Looking forward to more Dota. Yes.